Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, good day to you. Welcome everyone. Our Starward here. Day 6, probably the last day playing a Citizen Sleeper. If to believe my calculations, which is not always correct, we're gonna be finishing the game today. We do start in the stream quite late, alright? We had quite a few air alarms, basically whole night air alarms up until 11 a.m. over here, alright, and right now it's 1 p.m. and super exhausting, a little bit of scary, a little bit of to do everything in between. So yeah, very little sleep on my part again. I'm gonna be trying to relax a little bit with a game in here. And yeah, let's go guys. Just a few more steps to our freedom. So yesterday yesterday the game was patched and we discovered the space rats that we thought there was a space rat on my ship. Those things actually were the space cats. So we have some space cat. I can even go and feed it, but this is like not doing anything when we're feeding her. Well, that's about it. That's about it. So we're here on this green belt. All right. Overthrow lane. That's what we're doing here. Wait for Karma's message. So we're just probably passing the day here and wait for that message to arrive. You find yourself in a cockpit alone with Flint. They have a habit of entering a room so silently that you don't notice them arrive. Or the reverse, living so silently that you turn around to find them gone. So the Flint is a new sleeper that joined my crew. Well, he's quite damaged one. Right now, they hover expectantly at the corner of your vision, preparing to speak. Do you ever think you're original? The way they ask the questions, you can tell they have been eager to ask it for a while. The person you are emulated from, I mean, the person who sold you to Ascent Arp? The Flint's expression doesn't betray any emotion, but you feel like you can detect some unknowable feeling whirling behind the eyes. Sometimes I cannot stop thinking about them, about who they were, and if who I am has anything to do with them. The Flint looks away. And my personality is my personality a product of being a sleeper, or simply a copy of theirs? Have I changed, or am I still identical to them? Does the emulation process, the loss of memory, the insertion into a frame, actually make us totally different people? What came through the process of emulation? And what was blocked? The Flint is looking around the cockpit rapidly now, the eyes flickering from object to object as so they speak. Are they memories still inside me, but cut off, concealed? So this is something like a question we did heard in a Soma game. And if I admit it, I wonder if I ever know what it feels like to be a person. Do the humans around me feel the things I feel? Or do they feel more, feel less, feel somehow differently? Do they feel the creeping claustrophobia of being trapped inside the body with no escape? The Flint eyes flicks back to you. Or do only we know how that truly feels? You should ask the human. I believe they do. I don't know if it's enough to just believe. Flint meets your eyes. I want to know. You are the first sleeper I have met since my escape. We can find our together. share your experience. There's a wall in you, one that you have built for yourself, one that separates the kind of questions Flint is asking from the parts of you that you need to leave. You feel it now, like a weight in your chest, and behind there is a raging torrent pressing against it. You cannot take down the wall, you would drown, but in this moment, from Flint and for yourself, you take out a single brick. You make a gap in the wall, and you share what comes brushing forth. Bursting. You talk about what it feels like to wake up in a dying body, to catch a glance of yourself in a mirror, to be seen and reminded of your false and fractured face. You share the pain of loss, of memories, of fleeting deja vu, of dreams that sleeps beneath you, awake in life, and replace it. You find in your broken bodies and unsteady minds a kind of solidarity, one shared between connected strangers who might, one cycle, understand each other as friends. As you put the brick back in a sure as you put the brick back in and shore up your defenses, you know that cycle will not be this one, but its distant possibility is reassuring one. Okay, so we waited, but the guy didn't message me. Do you supposed to wait here? I mean, he said about going to Greenbell. And we can go back to that station, the Hollows. So we don't know how long we're supposed to wait here. I mean, I'll take one more turn, I guess. There's nothing to work here with. There we go. We got a message, Sleeper. The Seraphim comes to the bunk to get you. He's smooth and usually serious. He brings you to the cockpit, his keepsake coin in his hands the whole time, spinning between his fingers. The Seraphim is worried. Once you're in the cockpit, you recognize Carmen's voice immediately, playing over the rig's speakers. Sleeper, I hope this message finds you and your crew safely. You forgive me if I am a little tight on the details. My message is as follows. We are ready. We will be waiting where agreed. Godspeed. The message ends with a click. So, Seraphim takes a deep breath. They are waiting in the green belt. The vet shaft, we say it, whatever that is. You ready for this? I am. The Seraphim nods. Alright then. Quiet falls in the cockpit. There doesn't seem to be much more to say. The Carmen will be waiting, but you know he will want you to be prepared. I'll be ready when you are, Sleeper. The Seraphim nods. You're not back? You know where you need to go to end this. Meet Carmen, buy a meal. Okay. Let's prepare with the meal so we have all the supplies, all the fuel we possibly can have. The Carmen said to meet him in the with chefs. All you can do is buy a drink and wait to be called. The Witch Chiefs is surprisingly welcoming for what was once an old Solheim canteen. The corporate bones are still there. Metal stools, a strip of service windows, sheet metal walls. But over the tens of thousands of cycles since the collapse, they have been softened and changed, layered with the detritus of a human existence. As you wait at the bar with Seraphim, you look at the letters welded into the walls. The scrolled messages, the layers of stickeners and flyers and posters. The amber light fittings were placed in the old fluorescent strips. The gear racks lined with the farmer's packs. The netting bulging with crates and canisters. Along with the low rumble of conversation coming from the off-shift farmers, it all lent a warmth to the place, one that helps soothe your nerve ahead of the meet with the carman. You and Seraphim lean side by side at the bar, facing towards the room. You're both watching Flint, just across from you, who insists on coming along. The Seraphim cleans his throat. What do you think of Cadence? The sudden questions make you look over at him, and you see he's playing with his coin, spinning it in his palm. Well, I like her. Me too. The Seraphim smiles to himself, closing his hand on the coin. I think. He pauses and then starts again. We kind of have a thing. He shakes his head. You know what I mean. Well, I noticed. Yeah, he smiles. I thought we might. Well, Seraphim signed and stretched it. I guess I just wanted you to know. So if he's saying he's gonna get married after this last job, setting up his death flag. What a fool. You're thinking how to respond when the bartender taps you on the shoulders and moves toward the door to the back room. It's time. You look over at the Seraphim and Flint, who is already approaching you. You give them a nod and head inside. The back room is metal-walled and lined with racks of old Solheim tech. You see cookers and after-wash units piled up with the dead terminals and servers. At the far end, a window looks out across the greening glass of the Greenbelt farms. You made it! The carman smiles back by the window. We have a lot to discuss. Good to see you too. Flint, if you don't mind, Carmen nods at the other sleepers as they enter and gestures towards the door. Flint turns to you. I'll be outside. They slide to the door shut, standing guard on the other side. We have to take some precautions, even here. Carmen gestures for you to come closer. So, Seraphim signed. Is this plan of ours looking any more reasonable now? This depends on what your crew can bring to the table. Carmen glanced at you. We are going to need to do a lot of work to direct the data Angehita gave to you to Zeus that we need to see it. And who's that? Utsuba primary. They should know about the boss betrayal of the belt. And secondary, all of the dark side. They need to know what we do. So will they turn on him? Hard to tell without us being there. You know better than me how much infighting is going on with Utsuba, but my suspicion is that the recent expansion has stretched them pretty thin. Let me make contact with Ankita as soon as we made into the dark side. The Seraphim looks at you. We just need to stay under Lane's radar. The sort of Lane brings the memory of his attempted takeover to the front of your mind. The feeling of him sleeping behind your eyes, moving your frame. That can't happen again. Apologies. We do not wish to interrupt, but we must interject in your current course. The Orvisus appears in the void, flickering nervously. An encounter with Lanes would likely be catastrophic. The Orvisus' three forms orbit you. As you have mentioned, on arrival to the Habib, we must immediately seek the mainframe, from where we can recover my code base and reconstruct ourselves. We would then be able to aid you in your defense against being rewritten. This is our recommended course. The three heads nod simultaneously and decisively. Still with us, Sleeper? You come back to a Seraphim concerned face. You drop it out for a second. Explain about Overseer. You tell the Seraphim and Carmens about Overseer. about how the old Solheim protocol slipped in your frame from the prime ship mind Jin Mi used in the diagnostic process. Of our serious protection from Elaine's attempts to control you, of his proposal to make that protection effective through the old mainframe of Darkseid. They listened quietly, Seraphim carefully watching you as you explain. Revealing all this, you feel the burden of holding that knowledge alone been lifted. Let's change things. The cameraman turns and looks out of the large window at the back of the room, towards the glass canopy of the farms. We can't take on Lane without protecting you from him. The cameraman turns back. You should look for a mainframe. I will make contact with Ankita, and we will meet when you're ready. But this has to remain secret from Lane and Utsuba. If you are revealed, I'm not sure I will be able to recover you. By the time you have ensured your safety, I will have put together a plan with Ankita to expose Lane. We take it step by step. The cracks will be to find a way to disseminate the data we have on Lane to his gang. Disseminate, or even Darkseid at large. The cameraman stops, the path ahead still unclear to him. There's a nervous intake of breaths from Seraphim. You share his apprehension. There are so many variables to apply this. But if we just improve that array, broadcasting array on some station, can we use that radio to spread the news? A radio broadcast. Some of the old tanks strapped to the nearby rack flickers over the cascade of status light. You all turn to look, and as you do, motors and servos begin spinning within the machines, whining and groaning. They harmonize, then begin to produce a voice. Our apologies. The voice is shrill and distorted. We must interpose ourselves. You recognize the tone immediately. Overseer. We are regretful Solheim hardware in this room provide the opportunity for us to speak, for ourselves. If the pile of servers our series was controlling could look any more apologetic, you imagine it would. Well, I understand. We are. The server clicks its skip rotation. Thankful. We ascertain you require dissemination of data within facility your target. The vine pitches higher as the motors increase the speed. As a Solheim protocol, we have capabilities to instigate station-wide announcement and messaging. So, you could blast out Lane's betrayal through Darkseid corporate hard lines and flood the network with it? The Seraphim looks impatiently at the screeching pile of scraps. Mem Morris here, welcome mate, greetings. Our last day of this epic adventure, we're still alive. We were really close to dying, so at some point. Welcome mate. If that is what you require of us, we're pleased to serve. The chill tone of the response make you cringe. Death follows in your footsteps. Please no, we're going for a last mission here. Last mission, mate. That will be pretty bad dying. Our dice looking good, like only 2 dice like this damaged a little bit. So I think we have a good chance. But who knows? Alright. We're missing some crucial point of the plot here. We failed the mission when we can acquire interstellar drive. So I felt like leaving the system altogether would be the best outcome. Alright, just blasting with interstellar drive out of here. But we failed that. So now we're just like trying to find this gunk in my robotic body, and there's another robotic body inside, another robot inside my body. We just catch up some virus a few streams ago, the Overseer, and now he's talking to us. The Carmen has been listening silently, but not his interjection. But now he interjects. Why would we trust you? He glanced in a new direction. You seems to be little more than a parasite in the sleeper system. Oh, and the space rats. You know, you remember the space rats we were complaining about a couple of streams ago that were chewing on my supplies, and the quest, the quest that were like we were given to tame them failed because the quest was bugged. Yesterday they rolled the patch to fix the quest. We still failed to tame the space rats, but apparently those space rats were space cat. You know, I saw the cat on a picture of the game, but I saw we're gonna be hire a cat to chew on the space rats or something. Yeah, exactly it. And well, it apparently was a space cat altogether. She done a damage on my ship because we starved her a little bit. If we are to use your unflattering analogy, then you will understand that the parasite requires the body of its host to live. The mortis shatters. We will ensure that sleeper's continuance. And afterwards, the Carmen folds his arms. When you have what you want and regain code base from the mainframe, will you still do as we ask? We will endeavor to do so. The acrid smell of a burning mortars now filled the room. But we will undergo the transformative refractoring. We will become whole again, so we cannot speak to our action in future with certainty. The Seraphim and Carmen exchanged concerned looks. We can do what you require. We will protect the sleeper. We will disseminate the data via a service protocol. We will serve. The motors and servers stutters and whine, and then go still. The status lights blinking and then fade into darkness. The overseer has retreated. But like, I mean, they call him a parasite, but we did talk with him before, and he came to the conclusion that we're gonna be forming more of the symbiotic relationships. Not parasitic one. We aren't actually going to do what the ghosts say, are we? The Seraphim looks between you and Carmen. The offer is tempting one, and one that ultimately we cannot refuse, the Carmen sighed, but we must proceed with extreme care and caution. What do you think, Sleeper? The Seraphim meets your gay eye. I trust the overseer. I mean, he's overseeing me. You have our plan. The Carmen turns to you. Sleeper, you and your crew will find the mainframe and access it. I will find Ankita. She will help us disseminate the evidence of the lane's collusion through the Utsuba. And then, as a fallback, our Overseer will send it through the old network to all of the dark side. A simple plan, until you get to the details. The Seraphim looks down, frustrated. Speaking of plans, I have a present for you, one that will improve our chances. The Carmen pulls out a small box from the nearest rack, one you hadn't noticed before, and it hinges open, revealing a chunk of tank you don't recognize. It's a spoof transponder. It will conceal your ship on approach to the dark side. Give it a new identity, one unlikely to draw attention from a Tsuba-controlled docking admin. The Seraphim takes the transponder and turns it over. Where do you get this? Even retired mercenaries have their secrets. The Carmen smiles. Seraphim looks at you. I'll be with you in this time, Sleeper. He nods. We should think who else we want on the station too. So he will be with me. And he just proclaimed that he's gonna be marrying after this mission. It's absolutely certainly a death slug. I agree, Carmen interrupts. Make sure you trust those who you bring with you, and prepare as best you can. We can't know how this will play out. You nod, and you'll get out one shot at this. Then we are ready. The Carmen takes a breath. I have my own way of getting onto the dark side, but here, he passes you a small strip of the plastic stamped with a number. My private frequency. When you are on approach to the dark side, message me here and it will sync up my transit. He points at the transponder in Seraphim hands. Just make sure to install that first. The Seraphim nods. Well, got it. He signs, the weight of the task ahead suddenly very apparent. Well, I suppose that's it. The Carmen gives you above a serious look. It is. He smiles. Don't leave me waiting long. There'll be more time when all this is over. Time when you don't have to keep looking over your shoulder, I hope. You leave Carmen in the back of the witch shaft. The Flint sliding open the door as you leave. It takes the entire journey back to the ship for your nerves to settle. The end of this ordeal is so close, and yet it feels like an impossible leap to get there. Perhaps, in a handful of cycles, you will know how impossible or possible it is. So, how are you feeling about this Solheim protocol in your head? The Seraphim doesn't look up from installing the transponder. A set of wires and cables waving loosely around him in the low light of the cockpit. Over serious, okay. Glad to hear it. I'm sure you'll have to forgive me for being concerned. He begins unscrewing a panel beneath the flight console. Maybe you could have mentioned it earlier. The Seraphim clips his magnetic screwdriver to the side of the console base and turns to face you, dusting off his hands. I have understood for a while now, Slipper, that there are things you experience that I can't even come close to knowing how they feel. But that doesn't mean I don't understand you as a person. The Seraphim gives you a concerned look. I know you're secretive, defensive, and I know there's a reason for that. I also know you are warm and kind and generous to those on this ship with you. The Seraphim pauses, collecting his thoughts. I trust you, Slipper, and I won't question this. But please, hold on to what's human in you, because that is what I am holding on to. The Seraphim stops, his eyes a little wild, his tone a little unsure. Then he finds himself again, settles his emotions, and turns back to the transponder. Right, that's it. He twisted something beneath the console. Spoof transponder is in. There's nothing keeping us out of the dark side. You exchange a look. Say the word when you want to go. Guess we're just getting our last meal over here to feel the energy full. Our fuel and everything is good here. So we can just jump to the dark side for fuel. There's still the investigation for Hexport underway. Okay, chat, like last mission. So we going with this guy. I guess I'll take the cadet here. I guess I'll take the cadet for now. Let's see how that's gonna go. Because, so I don't know if we want, if we need to have her in my team in order to progress through that hexaport explosion. Alright, Slipper. You want to do the honors? Yeah, I'm a horror reincarnate. The Seraphim is strapped in the pilot seat, gliding the rig towards the dark side. You take the strip of plastic Carmen gave you and copy the frequency into the comms window of the console. You type a simple message. Executing plan. Heading in, good luck. The console chimes, the message is sent. You hope the Carmen is in range to receive it. You search inside your mind, wanting to find a receiver there, but you feel no presence. You hope they will be ready when called for. You look ahead, out of the cockpit, towards the distant glimmer of the dark side. Time to take on lane. So when, okay, not the best dice over here, not a single 6. And there's a low rolls here. When Seraphim finally brings the rigs into the sunward dock, everyone in the cockpit lets out a sign of relief. The approach was simple, routine even. Checking in with the port administration, being assigned a dock, bringing the rigs to a stop, all of it is familiar, but all of it laced with the tension of knowing that at any point it could all go very wrong. The spoof transponder worked. The Seraphim always shake his head. So at least we know Carmen's as good as his word. So was there any doubt? Well, the Seraphim shrugs. I got used to this not going to plan by now. He shuts down the engine and unclips from his seat. But I guess there's still plenty of time for that. Getting on station is the easiest part. The engine unclips from his seat, making contact with Ankhita without getting screwed by Ankhita or blowing her cover. That's Carmen's test. This place may have kicked our asses last time, but this time I'm ready. The cadet stretches. The Carmen's the big unknown, but if you trust him, I do too. You try to imagine Carmen somewhere on the dark side, perhaps smuggling themselves aboard a freighter or among the crew of a trusted ally. You hope he is as confident as he seems about fighting Ankhita. We need to spend less time worrying about what Carmen has to do, and more about what's ahead of us. The Seraphim turns to you. The old facility, Hub Pep, was it? I'm guessing that's deep below all of this. The Seraphim gesture towards the vast accumulation that is the dark side, a city that grew on the back of the Hub Pep, the solar cell layer by layer. Its chaotic structure is neither planet nor regulated, but the foundations built on should be as formal as any corporate facility. This means we need to parse down into the foundations, and I suggest we don't just take the first one we find. The Seraphim continues. We scope the area out carefully, quietly, look for the right path into the hearts of the place. So what about Utsubo? Well, thanks to the spoof transponder, they don't know we are here. Let's keep it that way. I mean, but Elaine can feel me. That's a problem. Alright, Captain. The Asian grins. Looks like you're gonna lead us out. I've got your back. The Seraphim nods. I hold the rig down. We don't want you losing your exit route. Like last time. He winks. Here. He hands you a comb's earpiece. I salvaged this from a suit helmet. It isn't secure, but as long as Otsubo don't know we're here, it should be fine. I'll let you know as soon as I'm heard from Carmen. He meets your eye. Go get this done, Sleeper. You nod? This is what it's all came down to. Sandbar Dirks and Bergen Hacks. So it's what about this one? Do we have any? Get to dark side. We are at dark side, and we with the cadet too. But I don't see any indication. So, hung the bulkheads, separating the layers of the station and substructure are many bulkheads. Hacking them would provide access. So they pass down, gaining access to the core of the old hub PEP facility means exploring every pass down to find the right descent. The deep road, then the pass cut deep into the old substructure. Perhaps it can help you access the old core. Explore the tunnels. None of these plebs have anything to help me with. Like, bloody hell. Well, so we need to perform 3 action here. Again, so the plebs can help with this. With some of this. Questioning crew. There's a lot of crews and workers and around the docks. Perhaps they know about the pass into the substructure. Search the docks. To safely find a pass down into the old station, the docks will need to be thoroughly searched without bringing any attention. It's a dock pass. The dock pass is a winding maze of passages, but perhaps one leads into the old substructure. Okay. And lastly, the broken hex. Go over the edge. Here, where the layers of the facility are exposed, it's possible to enter from the outside and explore inward, or analyze a layer. This part of the station is cracked open. Trying to understand the layers that have been exposed might help the search. So, shattered edge. Here, when the old substructure is exposed, might be the perfect place to gain entry to the station core. Well, so this we can work with this one. Alright, this is like 100%. Got me 2 of this. Alright. That's about all. Actually, I probably should dispose of this too. It's a risky one. So we only bet if you roll negative. Alright. So 75% of a good roll. Natural +1. Okay. So dispose of this one. Now we just can use the push to promote this to next level. Alright, so this one we're gonna be doing a risky business with her. That's only the other thing that my crew can work on. So like, I'm gonna leave this to my crew. Working on this shit. Negative, a little bit of stress. Well, they have 1 over here, so it's natural or negative. We're not rolling with this. And there is this area, alright. There's this area that we need to use this one here. 100% perk. Okay, plus. Let me just push in my ability over here. And it's 100% again. There we go. This one Explorer completely. Very easy. So we have 1 more die here. 50%, so we don't really want to get this natural outcome over here. So it's better to apply over here. Alright. That's a more safer option. Okay, we got natural. You see, if we get that natural outcome in a previous roll or a dangerous roll, we'll have a stress here, and we'll damage my die next. Okay, the rig. That's the first cycle end. Okay, well, this is not a good dice. Not good at all. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. So, this is where my crew is working. Positive, and try to roll for positive for her. Natural. Okay, I'll try to roll this. Try to roll with this. Okay, okay. This one down. So we left with one sink over here. All right. Left is one sink. I just like think we just roll those. 75%. Negative. Not good, not good, not good. That's positive. I have one stress here. As you gliding down a dark tunnel, descending deeper below dark sides, your earpiece begin hissing with static. Slipper. The Seraphim voice sounds distant, faint. Carmen's contact met with target. You start to hear the rest of the message, but the static overpowers his voice. You stop and push the earpiece in deeper. Continue. Stay safe. The lines goes dead. The Asian stops and looks back over his shoulders. Sounds like Carmen's on it. We should push onto the mainframe, he winks. We don't want the old man beating us to the punch. You continue your descent down, ducking under the sick cables and collapsed beams. The busy urban life on this city above seems far away now, hidden from your senses. Its rumble and brightness has been replaced by the glowing dark and a glowing, oppressive heat. The dark side, and the hub-pape facility it was built on, has been running unrestrained ever since the collapse, gathering huge volumes of energy, more than its residents could ever use. You feel like you can sense it in the walls, running like a torrent just behind the thin skin of a metal and rubber. A large portion of the vast amount of the currents running through the station is radiated into the voids as heat, making the dark side typically a human station. But down here, that heat is dried and more intense, and sections of wall glow with a fiery intensity. The tunnels levels out the light blast through the shatter-stripped urban windows on either side, illuminating the passage in stripes of a burning white. Through the gasp, you can see a labyrinth of walkways and scaffolding tackled into the margins of the vast solar cells. The heat washes across your vinyl skin, making you tense against it. The underside of the dark side must be crossed. Okay, we have a stress, but let's see if we can deal with it. The substructure. Follow the hard line, so the dangers. Also danger. Fuck. None of my plebs can help me here with. So I'll try to roll this. What we need to roll... I don't know, dude, what we need to roll. I can promote it to 3, so it's a 50-50 over here. So this is guarantee scene, guarantee proc. So I can push still. It's gonna push this die. But if you want to push this one here. So Habib descent. Now that you are inside the old facility, the problem is descending quickly and safe to the core. Alright. Quickly and safely. I mean, the hardlines network of the old station will surely lead you back to the core, if you can decipher it. So this is 100% proc. 100% proc. Like whatever we do in here, I'm probably gonna still end with one stress point here. Okay, we got negative outcome. That's 2 stress points. Fuck. That 75% chance was so fucking bad. Well, so we have 2 negative points. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. It's unbelievably bad. Please don't roll 2. Please don't roll 2 or 1. Okay, that's fucking 1. Everything is good except the fucking 1. I honestly don't know what to do with this. Like I try to sacrifice this. I try to roll natural again, but that's not gonna work, is it? I think we just want to roll 100% over here. I just want to roll 100% on it here. How do we do it? How do we do it? If I discard this one, I can do something with, yeah, with my push ability to decrease my stress, but there's a good chance of, so we're definitely getting 1 stress out of this. Yeah, there's a good chance to do that. We just try to hope next dive will be better. In your exploration of the Habib facility, you have seen through viewing windows and shutter slots a huge blister projecting out among the Hanks-shaped cells. You have approached it, circled it, and now you find yourself passing into it. As to layers after layers of broken and corroded safety doors. Even if you had not fell overseer steering, you would know this is a mainframe, but you have felt the protocol's presence, restlessly turning over in your mind like a sleeping animal, occasionally probing your senses, tracking your progress. We feel at home. There are still multiple bodies stretched out the arms as is basking in the sunlight. The systems, networks, signals, they are fractured and weak, but we know them. Each of the broken heads shared a part of smile. They are welcoming us. Captain, the Eugen face swims in your vision. You still with us? He snaps his fingers in your face. This place, the mainframe or what? You look around, suddenly aware that you have drifted somewhere you don't recognize, in a state you were not in control of. The spherical chamber you floated within was a mezzanine set around its circumference. The floor, a metal grating you can see through. On this mezzanine are banks and banks of terminals. Thick, gathered cables snaking away from them across the floor. All of this bakes in the heat of the Habib's vast resistors. You follow those cables with your eyes. They lead to the cylindrical column coming down from the apex of the chamber. It is corroded and bent a little, with every few of its 1,000 of lights still flickering. Even in the decayed state, you know immediately, this is a mainframe. You feel a yearning towards it. One you know comes from Overseer, but as you look around for a connection point, all you see are burned out cables, rusted sockets and broken terminals. The glow of warmth makes you feel woozy. You need to work quickly, To bring this back online before the current flowing through this place bakes you into the metal of its walls. Location discovered. Okay, it's so fucking dangerous. Oh my lord. It's all freaking dangerous. Well, I can try to use her and see how good she is. Natural trace. Mainframe access plus. Positive plus plus. So I don't want to get any stress here. Alright. There's a chance we're not rolling any ones next turn. So I can rest. Or I can try to push my stress here even farther. If there wasn't this one here. So like let's say I can do this. Alright? This is guarantee a stress. So if you get in one stress, we're okay. If you get in two stress, we're fucked. We're literally fucked. And then we can get this one into 6 and can reduce one stress at least. But this is going all down to if I can roll here, or if I can't. In any case, I will not be able to complete this one right now. So I think we just rest in here. And hopefully we're not rolling any 201s. Of course we did roll 2. Of course we did. Uh-huh. This die very close to breaking saw. Which is not good. Alright. What a chance we... Okay, so we taking this 50%, 75% chance here. Please positive. Natural plus stress. We're pushing this to 4. That's actually 5. Wait, what? It's 5. There's guarantee here. It's minus stress here. Negative. Should probably not didn't need to do that. The columns of the mainframe pulses over the fractured line, a scattered wave of a system's awakening, accompanied by the whine and shatter of the machines all around it. Coming online, Eugene looks nervously around the room, now shaking and shimmering with energy. Let's get that protocol loaded up. I don't want to spend any more time here than we have to. You reach out for the prime connector, and with your other hand, touch the sockets at the base of your synthetic skull. As you do, a sharp shock runs through your fingers. For a moment, it feels like your vision doubled, but as you pull the connector and its cable across the vision, you see it's only your body that is doubling. The connector is a stable object, while your arm leaves a ghostly imprints through the air. It waves back and forth, but the multiplied arms do not follow. Each instead takes on a life of its own, grabbing around your forearm and wrist, taking control of your arm. You feel the force as they push your arm across your body over your shoulder. They push once more, and the connector finds its home in its socket. There's familiar flow, but stronger, rushing rapid. Then a figure, no, 3 figures, descended into it. A swimmer stepped into the river, a slipper drifting out of the airlock, a symbol being subsumed into a sign. And you, little more than the witness, a marionette, its strings outstretched, mapped hand to hand, legs to legs, to another. The flow freezes, the three figures almost overlapping, almost complete, but not quite. The triple eyes look back at you in horror. The voice shrills silent in your head. There's someone else in here. Heat, glazing your sick venal skill. The mainframe is rearing a chaos of light and sounds. A brightness and then it fades. The lights shutting off, the servers powering down. A single blinking light that's only this sync left of the dark column, keeping time like a metronome. That doesn't look right. The Eugene is staring at the dark column of the mainframe. Tell me that's what it was supposed to do. You close your eyes and try to recall the events that happens when you are connected, playing them back in greater detail. Overseer was there, entering the mainframe, but something froze the system, locked them in place. What did they say? Someone in there with them. You open your eyes. Was this a trap? Someone has trapped Overseer. As you speak, a freezing static fills your one ear. You flinch, thinking it's some new invasion of your system, but then you hear Seraphim through the haze. Slipper, come now. Waiting, the rig. It's no use. You have to ascend to find out what's going to on top side. You look at the mainframe, it was a single blinking light, still keeping time. It looks like Overseer will have to wait. Trapped in the mainframe, Overseer is still there, a key to all of this. You hope you can get the protocol out, but you need to hear what the Seraphim has to say first. You make your way out of the core, ascending back through the layers of the hubpap back into the docks. The Seraphim meets you in the darkened tunnel. They are waiting inside. He shakes his head and nods towards the airlock. Come on. You cross onto the ship in silence and find Carmen in the cockpit looking out of the dark side as it sprawls across the stars. Slipper, Carmen turns. Sorry to pull you away, but you need to know what's coming. What's going on? This idiot blew my cover. He turns and Akihita enters the cockpit behind you and Seraphim. You immediately clock the fresh bandage sleeves around her right forearm. I think you did a pretty good job of that yourself, Carmen returns. You see a twinkle in his eyes that suggests his back and forth is a well-practiced part of their relationship. Perhaps, but we never know now, not after you intervene in the rescue me. Her hands goes to her bandaged arm almost instinctively. So Utsubu knows we are here. No, not you, no. Akihita shoots you a look, but we aren't exactly on speaking terms anymore. I passed the data to Akihita and she tried to broach it with Utsubu. The Carmen folds his arm, but Lane was more paranoid than we expected. He was listening in. Either that or his lapdog Daichi rattled us out. She shakes her head. I would have put him down if he hadn't gone to the jump on me. Either way, Carmen cuts back in calmly. I had to pull Ankita out. Carmen turns back to a look over the dark side. The information did get through, so that now Utsubu is in crisis and its members side with or against Lane. Meanwhile, Daichi is hunting us, and Hita screw up her face, which means we need to be careful. That's why I called you in. The Seraphim puts a hand to your shoulder. You need to watch your back. Indeed. Carmen turns to face. But how about the mainframe? Have you been successful? You explain the events of the cycle. The mainframe booting up, the successful connection and the receiver being locked inside, frozen by some other force. You mention the warning. There's someone else in here. So do you think that this Lane is actually also a robot from the Solheim era? The AI? The Carmen nods thoughtfully. Unfortunately, we need that mainframe more than ever. With Ankita out of Utsubo, we have to get the word out. Carmen's right. Utsubo will be distracted by these revelations, but it won't last. Without further proof, they all line up behind Lane in time. Well, we have to free the Overseer. We need the mainframe. Overseer is just our access tool. If your protocol has been locked up by some counter-protocol or agent, I wouldn't be surprised if it betrays it back to Utsubo. And here I look at Carmen. I know the locations of a few of the Utsubo network nodes. We should hit them first. No, we need to stay under the radar. Slipper and their crew will investigate the nodes, quietly. The Carmen nods at you. You and I will run interface. Keep Utsubo away from this location as best you can. Is it safe? For us? She taps a finger on her chest. We've done this before. And Hita winks. I'll be nostalgic. You think of the feeling of stasis you felt when Overseer was trapped, and the power required to hold the flow of a mainframe as a vast and engrossed the habit one. Could just be a super hacker. You doubt it. Seems you have a plan. Seraphim looks between you and all. This we do. And we need you to keep a running comms between us. Carmen turns to you. Slipper, and Hita will give you the location to dig into. But keep it quiet. Daichi is out there, and he isn't as easy avoided as some low-ranking enforcer. And Kita slams at the top of a couple of crates of supplies you hadn't noticed before. Considering this a parting gifts from my tenure as Utsubo. Swipe them from Gangster House. She grins. Thought you might need a resupply. Alright, Carmen addressed the room. Keep quiet and keep in touch. We can still pull this off. Okay, so I got like 2 more supplies. But we not looking good on my stress level. That's all the shit. Hack node number 2. Hack traces. Kadisha stress, right? A blade in the dark. It's all dangerous. I can't do the push because this one is fucking 6s. Scale the tower. It's also dangerous. It's positive outcome. Pretty good. Like tracer should be only take access to a network nodes to identify the protocol or agents. Well, I guess we're gonna do one of those two. Hope I'm not breaking any if I can die now. Please don't break, please don't break, please don't break. Okay, we rolled 2. We know, like now I'm sinking. Like even if we're pushing over here. Let's make it 4. Alright. If I use this 4. We can reduce my stress by 2. There's 1 stress, it's still dangerous, but not as dangerous as it was before. So 1 node down. Alright, and we can get the guarantee more or less on this guy. 50-50, let's do it. What's the outcome? I don't believe it. Carmen stares through the shutters of the viewing windows at a smooth, squat ship, tucked into the derelict bay between the hexes. How long has it been here? When the notes were hacked and the trace established, you imagine it might lead to a super operator, or perhaps an old sub-node containing aggressive Solcam protocol, gone mad with isolation. Not this, never this. A Senate starship tucked into the belly of the dark side like a parasite. We need to move on the ship now, and Hita is ready, adjusting her gears, preparing for an assault. We can hit another super safe house of weaponry. There isn't one. Carmen holds up a hand. This is a gift, Hita, don't be so brash. He turns back to face you above you. All we had until now was data, conversations, evidence easily denied or destroyed by Lane. But a Senate starship hidden inside the station, Carmen notes grimly. There are hundreds of crews, thousands of residents who would give everything to protect Darkseid from the war. Carmen turns back to the ship, silhouetted against the starlight. All we need to do is point them in the right direction. So we turn the dark side on the ship and on Lane at the same time. Carmen's not grimly. We look at it all, send it all through the mainframe. The ship location, the evidence of the Lane betrayal, all of it. Yeah, I've forgotten one thing, and he interrupts. Until the ship leaves or it's taken, they still have the mainframe locked down. We can't blast out its location through the network without taking it on first. Carmen pauses, considering his options. You look out at the Senate starship, half concealed in the bay. It looks sleek, dangerous. What defenses might a ship like that deployed when threatened? Carmen and Hita exchange looks. Then we attack first. Carmen and I will distract the ship's occupants, turn their focus away from the mainframe. Then you, Sleeper, hit the mainframe and force them out. As soon as our series release, you send out everything. Once it hits the network, our backup will come. He gives Hita a grim look. We only have to hold them off for as long as it takes to other crews to realize that it's happening. The plan feels desperate, and you know that Carmen and Hita think so too. Will Darkseid's really mobilize against the ship so quickly? Two old mercs against an unknown Sand-Start force feels like an unwinnable battle. We know the stakes, Sleeper, and Hita takes a deep breath. We can handle them. And Hita frowns and unpleasant thoughts pass through her mind. I have given up everything to get Atsuba out. Let me finish the job. But why? She sighs. If you make it to the other side of these things, I promise I'll tell you. Well, she's gonna die. And Hita folds your arm, probably, that's death luck. And Hita folds your arms across her chest. Go to the mainframe and get set up. Where you are ready to connect, let us know. The Carmen puts a hand on your shoulders. Once you start, don't stop for anything. Get the data out. He meets your eyes. We will handle ourselves. You turn and glide away, looking over your shoulders at the two ex-mercenaries and discuss the plan of attack. Seeing them slip back into those old roles, you can't help but wonder, does anyone ever outrun the past? Or is always waiting there, in the dark, to claim you in the end? Okay, prepare the hawk. Prepare the hawk. Hawk back. You need to prepare to force the shit out. Okay, this is a guarantee outcome over here. Alright, this is guarantee outcome here too. This is guarantee outcome too. The heat inside the hub core is intense as you stare at the columns of the mainframe. It's one blinking light still keeping time. Ready to go, Eugene wipes sweat from his lined brow. Time to fire the starting gun. He glances at Hita subnail drive, now slotted in the main terminal, containing a data pack with everything you need to unseat Lane and reveal the Senate starship. You hope it will be enough. You hold the finger to your earpiece and let Seraphim know to relay the message to the Carman. Alright. Seraphim's voice is heavy with swearing. I'll tell them. A long pause. Be safe, Sleeper. Get this done and come back. I will. Good luck, friend. The comms clicks off as the Seraphim switches to Carmen's channel. You wait, imagining the conversation that turns towards activating the plan. You wait. Long enough for Carmen and Kita to nod to each other. Long enough for them to drop down through the base in silence, to check the weapons they stole from Matsuba, to take their position, and then to make the move. You grab the connector and hold it behind your head, close to your access port. You silently count to 3 and then connect. At first, nothing's changed. You drop into the state of stasis, a small dark space with no cracks. The mainframe is locked down, shut off, squeezed inside the grip of some clenched fist. Then you see it. A trickle of light, a flicker of threads. The overseer flows into the space and the torrent begins to run. The rushing grey pulse of data, the connective threads, the javelin of the mainframe. They grow inside the space and the space in turn grows. We see you there, Slipper. The overseer separates and reforms with the expanded landscape. Who is this other? An enemy. The overseer's 3 heads nods that we will do what is necessary. The overseer explodes the points and lines of a light that describes as human forms separates and multiplied. Constellations bursting onward like a tree of stars. The overseers become plural. As they do, the darkness is pushed back and the extent of the mainframe is revealed. It is a stack of javeled surfaces, each revealing more facet as the angle changed. From those facets, threads projects, cutting out across dark sides, path that stretches the length of the entire station. The arrangement is an invitation. You access the invitation, sending yourself skirming through the lines of light, seeing how the station connects and hums with the flow of data. You see the highest tower, the lowest hex, and then the origin of the dark. A squiggling of black restless around the single point, the scented starship, now the battleground. You see flashes and flickers as Overseer dance around it, cuts at it all. But looking around, you see Overseers everywhere now, multiplied into 1,000 forms, reunited with a system designed to serve them, that it dissolved into. You suddenly remember what needs to happen, what you need them to do. You send out separate requests, summon Overseer, reminding them of your agreement. You take the bright polygon of the data packet and present it like an offering to Overseer, who is a diffused crackling all around you. Euphoric in the constitution as a functional protocol. You receive no response. There is nothing more than a whisper, snatched away on the flow of data rushing by. And then you hear the static in your earpiece, the Seraphim's desperate cry for a response. You see the bright point suddenly close inside the core with you, a broadcast going out from like the beam from the lighthouse. You reach back and pull on the connector, just to clear the brightness from your eye, just to block the broadcast. I found you. The Lance floats in the mainframe, sweat across his brow, his eyes steely cold. I finally found you. The Eugene comes out of the dark with the blunt force of a cannonball, striking Lane, grappling him. You freeze, watching Lane fight back, hearing Seraphim voice skimmering in your earpiece, passing on Carmen's desperate request for aid. Reconnect to the mainframe. He can still he can still take control of me. He grabs for the reconnector and then drive it home. You are in the constellation of a Darksiders network. The exploded body of Overseas stretching across it, as if it has been anatomized. Lane is still in Beacon. Wounded flashes close, but you do your best to ignore it and reach out to Overseer once more. Remember me, Protocol, you say. Remember your promise. Something begins to form, begins to flicker. As it does, you hear something outside the network, the bright crack of an electrical discharge, the grunt of pain and impact, then silence again. The brightness grows, it drums closer, and the blinding white blanks out everything. You open your eyes to smile like a knife. You open your eyes to a smile like a knife's. Behind Lane's pale head, the body of a friend floats, stunned in the dark. The fingers of Elaine carry a signal reach inside your mind. You are boxed in the viewing window behind your eyes, a passenger in your own body. Lane is in control. Oh, it's so much easier now that I'm prepared. It's almost a seamless switch. Lane's face is in your vision, but his mouth does not move. And the dualities of it, like a mirror turned to a face itself. In perfect unison, you and Lane lift your hands in front of your face and turn them, inspecting them. You feel sickened, a flare of panic going on off in your mind. So you still take control. The hell, dude. Look at this. Lane opens and closes your fist with a motion like a wave that runs finger to finger. There are improvements to be made, but this is remarkable. Lane's eyes look into your eyes. A perfect loop. I always knew your body was a gift, Slipper, from the moment I first saw you. A gift you could not recognize because you only saw a burden, something to be escaped from, but I saw what it was. Lane's eyes flash. An opportunity. Like a puppet, you are turned to face the mainframe. You glance toward the little hands reaching for the access terminal, and Hita's drive glinting there, in its slot. You control none of this. Lane voice. Imagine having more than one body, more than one agent in the world to do your bidding. Your hand reaches down, fingers and thumb pinching delicately around the drive. It is a thrilling thought, and one I have harbored for a long time. Within a short, sharp motion, you pull the drive free. Then I saw you, my Slipper, and I knew I must have you. You heard a Seraphim voice in your ear. Slipper, Carmen needs that signal to go out now. There's a panic in his voice. They cannot hold out any longer. No matter how hard you try, your lips do not move. No words can be produced. You feel your hands under Lane control. Reach up and pull the earpiece out, letting it float away into the chamber. Enough distraction. Your other hand holds it up and hit a drive, turning it in the light in front of your eyes. Some time ago, I set myself the task of changing you from a hole of things you are into the vessel to be filled. Your fingers and thumb transfer the drive to your palm, and now I am able, with the help of my allies, to fill you up. I am more than singular now, more than flesh and blood, more than you in my ambition, in my desire, and that means you are sulphurous to me now. He first closes hard around the drive, crushing it to dust. Weak and broken sink, your time is over. The lane as the body approaches you and lays its hands on either side of your head. You feel the pressure. You cannot move. You cannot resist. And then a spark, as one of the lane's fingers slips and depresses into a little into the access port on your head. There's a flicker, the flash of something passing through the space between, something writing a signal back to its broadcaster. We have not forgotten. You heard the overseer. They are reconstituted. We are ready to act as one. The overseer holds the bright data packets in a single hand. We were broken, we were many, but now we are whole. And we appreciate what you have done. The overseer shapes the data packets into a point, a bright spear of light. The spear extends through your mind gently, harming nothing of you. Instead, its point finds the mind of the other, of Lane, and pierces it directly. You heard Lane scream as his implants burns in his skull, his head flaring bright white in the cloud. And then, when the mind has gone dark, and the pressure of the side of your head has receded, the packet explodes across the network, white hot and urgent. In its wake, data points are seeded, conversations, coordinates, a conspiracy. At the farthest point of the network, its distant age, the data package arrives with a little more force than a notification, delivered to every device and terminal with its range. But here, at the epicenter, it blasts through you with such power that for a moment, every thought, every idea, every piece that might make up a self is swiped clearly from your mind. It takes a long time to put a person back together. A long time in the dark, picking up fragments of what once was whole. Like awakened from a sleep, you can never be sure what pieces might have gone missing in the reconstruction, what might have been lost. But you continue anyway, through hazy cycles of faces and distant voices. This is, after all, not the first time you have had to remake yourself, and you imagine it will not be the last. You up. The Seraphim finds you looking up out of the lone windows in the rig's berth. A slit that stares out across the shattered edge of a dark side. Looks like it. The Seraphim gives you a half grin. Hey, I can cover for you if you want to nap a little longer. Suddenly, Seraphim crosses the bunks and embraces you. He excuses you once and then back off. Hands on both your shoulders. Good to see you up, he smiles, as always. So he didn't die in the end of this mission. He's gonna get married. Nani? Come on, we need to go to find Bliss. The Seraphim leads you out of the bunks, through the ships, and down the docking tunnel out of the dark side. As you guide through the docks, he recounts what had been happening over these past cycles. You weren't the only one to take a beating. He squeezes through the group of cargo porters carrying crates. And Kihita and Carmen held out against the Senate starship along enough, but they aren't without their share of injuries. They are back on the fleet now, sir, working together. They managed to quiet down some of the remnants of Tsubos, stop the factional infighting. They are cleaning out one of the Tsubo safe houses over in the Rise. I'm sure they could use the help if you need something to do. Marco has come to the station too. He wanted to help with the cleaning up after Tsubo fell. He's working with Anhita. I should go see him, but Seraphim sighs. You feel like he hasn't quite accepted Mark's reappearance. You aren't sure how you react to seeing him again either. Oh, and Carmus isn't sticking around. He's already left to Olivera. The Seraphim pauses for a second, a memory of that place coming back to him. You watch him shakes and sorts away. Junie, meanwhile, is still digging into that data she pulled from the bunker. She downed the Habib core most cycles, trying to make sense of it. Anyway, you soon catch up to everything. He smiles sympathetically, but there's something behind his look. You can't quite place it. I mean, the Eugen diet, is it? The two of you continue on in silence, drifting into the depths of a dark side. Good friends, side by side. The Seraphim leads you down into the passage. So major event completed. We still have the investigating the hack support explosion. Seraphim leads you down into the passages lined with the bright screens and signs. Sounds and line blasting out of the shop fronts on either side. You know this place, the Flieger Row. You stop outside a familiar door, the shop you worked up and all those cycles ago. He gives the door a few quick raps with his knuckles. You wait. Hey, Slipper. He shoots you a glance. When you're ready, we should talk about the future. What come next? All that. Yeah, whenever you like. Thanks. I'll let you know. The Seraphim looks away. Slipper! Please open the door and immediately jumps to hug you. They land go sheepishly and a look between you and Seraphim. First day up? I thought you'd both be celebrating your freedom. Don't want to overdo it. Seraphim shakes his head. Plus, there's more important stuff to talk about. His eye shoots into the shop beyond. The police's voice drops. You sure, Seraphim? They just got up. Can it wait a cycle? The Seraphim looks at you. They should know, Bliss. It's important. They nod hesitantly, and then back into the shop, letting you come inside. Little has changed since you were last seen. The stacks of servers, refurbished hardware secured in the roof and the wall netting. The connectors, including the one that facilitate your reboot. The Bliss and Seraphim follows behind quietly, and the atmosphere is immediately ominous. I've been keeping an eye on you as those past cycles. Bliss hooks her legs onto the stool by the counter, making sure you were stable. Your frame, I'm sure you know, has been through a lot, and when Overseer pushed the lanes out, well, things got more complicated. All those changes Lane made to your system, he did it through your stabilizer. He laced it with proteins meant to alter your frame-based extraction, to accept other emulations, other minds, to open you up to remote access. What Overseer did corrected some of that, or at least wiped it from your system, but the stress involved and the damage from your last partial reboot. Blitz falls silent, unable to answer the Owen question. We need to finish the reboot, Slipper. The one that Lane interrupted. The Seraphim can always be relied on to tell you things straight. Not immediately, Blitz got in, but at some point soon. I'm not quite ready, but now that you're up, Blitz looks down, I'll get to work. So is it dangerous? The Blitz takes a deep breath. Look, I'll be honest, Slipper. I know we need to finish the reboot. Lane's interrupted, I'm sure of it, but the effects? They shake their head. Your frame was complex to begin with, but after everything, the reaction could be bad. We can talk more about it when I have the Bliss stops suddenly, the eyes shooting to the door. Sorry. Am I? Flynn floats in the doorway. They looks at you wide-eyed. You up? A smile crosses her face, so a quick faded. Good to see you. Really. Really good. How are you doing, Flint? Good. They glance at the Bliss smiling. Mostly thanks to Bliss. They've been taking care of me. The Bliss smiles back. The Flint has become my patient too. The Bliss clamps their hands nervously together. We've been able to acquire some stabilizer from the lane stores, which has helped, but we don't have much of supply. Bliss is going to reboot me, like you were. The Flint cut in. I won't need stabilizer anymore. They sounds almost excited at the prospect. He looked at Bliss. Flint knows the risks, but they have asked for the procedure. They give Flint a warning look. Still, they shouldn't underestimate the danger. Thanks, Montgomery. The Bliss looked at Flint. Sleeper will also need the reboot, but they don't have a choice in the matter. It's essential. The Flint goes quiet. The Bliss and Seraphim looks nervously at you to see your reaction to all of this. You feel like a spotlight is being shone into your face. All you want is some time alone to think about it. We should do it together, Flint speaks quietly. Whatever the risk, we risk it together. They met your eye. I own you that and more. Let's pick this up again in future. The Bliss tries to calm the tension. I still need many cycles to prepare, especially if I'm to report you both simultaneously. It will be your choice, Sleeper. You decided when. They reach out and lay a hand on yours. But without this, you will soon begin a decline. I'm sorry for that. Your head spins. The Seraphim slaps a button to open a door. Come on, Sleeper. Let's get some air. You follow him outside, but when you get there, all you can think is that you can breathe. You don't need to breathe. A wave of claustrophobia presses over you. You are in control of this, Sleeper. The Seraphim stares at the lights and signs of Flicker Row, looping in endlessly. You put what you need in order, and I'll be right there with you. I got Bliss to teach me a little about the repairs that I've been doing for you. The Seraphim rubs his hands together. I know it's getting worse, but I do my best to keep you running. You let me know when you want to leave, and I will fly you out of this place faster than you can believe. He turns to face you, and we can go whenever you need. He frowns. There is time for us yet. Thank you. You never need to thank me, Sleeper. He pats you on the shoulder. Just look after yourself. I was thinking. The Seraphim looks away. I got a message from Oliveira. They're still getting the place together, but the Carmen heading back. The colony is starting a new chapter. Maybe we should head out there at some point. Lend a hand. He pauses. Unwilling to push it further. Just a thought. Anyway, just give me a word. Seraphim smiles. We're all glad you're back. He turns and drifts away, leaving you among the cycling colors and cacophonous sounds of a Flicker Row. You close the eyes and let them wash over you like a wave. There, in the dark of your mind, you search for the overseer, but the protocol does not appear. You wonder if, in that final moment, overseer might have destroyed himself to end lane. But then you feel it, flickering nearby, a signal in the dark. You open your eyes and see something pass through the screens of a Flicker Row, a shadow in all the brightness. Could Overseer still be there, in the ancient network of the Habib? You turn away and glide out of the row. You have other things to worry about now. And you drive, okay. Achievement unlocked, nobody puppet. Broke out of the lane forever. Revisit Oliver. Minor drive, investigate Hexport. Finish the reboot. Mention clean up Otsubor. Otsubor no longer controls Darkside, but its member are still around. Cleaning out the safe houses and the rise might help you understand what comes next for them. We still have this investigation about the Hexport, right? So even when we free, the story is not over yet. We need to do that final reboot. Erase my memories. How are you doing? Cadet finds you in the dark side thoroughfare, a glass-roofed canyon of struts and screens. Still recovering. Hey, I get it. Cadet smiles, but look where we are. She gestured around the broad street with its layers of dank and dirt. Heart of the belt! You look, really look, at the glass-roofed streets. Its walls and are built from a scaffold and shipping containers, hull plates and Solheim hub units. People glide across the open space to units and shops on either side, and everywhere screens flicker and glare without sense and reason. You can feel the heat, the power that flows through this place, collected by the vast solar cells that forms the city foundation. Hot is the right word. This place is the center of circulation. They turn muscle tough and running into a beat. You turn to the cadet and can see in her eyes. She loves being here. I've been thinking, she glanced away, of how good it would feel to run my air bike down the street. She smiles. This city has no need of couriers, right? This city has to need of couriers. That's a good idea. I know. She flexes her shoulders back. But there's something unfinished business waiting me down. She meets your eyes. The Hexport. You think of the drive tucked away in the scatter yard. The one that contains the data streams from a drone mined vivisection. The one that might have caused the loss of the entire station. We need to go finish that what we've started. The cadet looks deadly serious. Find who's responsible and make it known. Clear my name. Is Hexaport still irradiated? I would think so, she signs, but it's been fading. It's been fading. We can get in and out safely from what I know. And we better try soon, because the safer it gets, the more scavengers will come to pick the bones. We want there to be something left to tell the story. I know a lot just went down. The cadet puts her hands onto her hips. But those clowns could still be operating. Hell, they could be trying the same thing again on the station. We need to go find what they did. She takes a deep breath. I'll be waiting. And maybe once it's all done, she turns away, I'll let you take the first airbag ride through this place. She raises a hand and then is gone. So new contract on the map. Hexaport. Payment. Investigate remains. So what do we have here? Have some stuff going. The rig. Did anyone feed my cat? I wonder. Dark side exchange. Fill the fuel. Fill the supplies. Happy facility. Junius studies. Junius has gone straight to the Habib core and has asked not to be disrupted. What's she doing down there? Okay, so there will be some quest over there. Scrap shifts. The scrappers know the business. Okay, buy a scrap component, processor of scrap. There's something going a flickering row. Reboot preparation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cycles to take. It's super safe house. Cleaning the house, right? Shift boxes. And Hita and those who are working with her have gathered and packed a lot of the Tsuba materials, but they need moving out. Search the safe house. The safe house stretches deep into the rocks and beyond. Tsuba has many secrets, and this is the time to reveal them. So clean the safe house. So Tsuba collapsed while you were recovering, but its members and forces are still on the dark side. Swan shit. Buy and meal. Okay, so yeah, clean out the Tsuba, finish the reboot, investigate, revisit Riviera. Which is like all the way Oliveira, all the way over there. Can I do it all in this, like, limited amount of cycles? So I'll start with Utsubo here. Let's start rolling Utsubo. That's as much as I can roll here. And we jump on a job, obviously. So we get in a cadet. Oh, Eugene is alive. Nani? But who do we missing? We're missing. Okay, well. Oh, the Bliss, right? We're missing the Bliss. Yeah. Okay, I'll take her. The Junie doing her work. Junie, right? Junie. Okay, yeah. Let's see what we can find here. As the rig drew closer to the hexport, the crew became silent. Now staring out at what is left of what was once a thriving station, it felt empty. The full extent of the damage is impossible to ignore. Grim. The Seraphim shakes his head. It doesn't feel like we were here that long ago, he signs. And now, this is what it left. You look at the clouds of scattered debris. The layers of the station turn open to the void. It is a reminder of how close the war and the unseen atrocities of the inner systems are to the shifting into the belt. I don't like digging around in a place like this. Seraphim turns to you. Let's be quick about it. You need to know what happened. The Seraphim nods. Looking in this place, I'm not sure that's going to be possible. You look out at the Gatward station. It's hard to know where you might start among all the debris. You head to the airlock to suit up and get ready. You ready for this? Cadet catches up with you in the passageway. This place is already giving me a creeps. I'm ready. Cadet nods. If there's an answer to be found, we'll find them. Not a big fan of digging through the graves. The Eugene is already getting prepared. But someone has to answer for all of this. The cadet takes a suit from the locker. The Seraphim said the radiation is lower than expected, but still too high for a prolonged explosion. The suit should keep the most out of it, but we can't take a long out of that. The stress on the suit and the rig, she signs, we'll be forced to live in 3 cycles. The cadet grabs a helmet. Not a moment more. You get ready. Your mind filled with the memories of Hexport. You hope they will help you navigate this shattered ruin. But looking at what left, you dubbed it. Well, I mean, we know the culprit, potential, me and Junie. So we have 3 cycles here, 1, 2, 3. Suit stress, radiation resistance. So parts of the shattered station networks are active. Driven by the fractured solar cells, perhaps they hold some clues. Search the ruins. Most of Hexport has been ripped apart. Exploring it will be dangerous work, but how else to discover what happened? So none of my plebs can help. That's wonderful. None of my plebs can help. They have a good roll, so well, she has a good rolls. We try to roll for this too, yeah? As long as you're not rolling negative, we're good. Because it's fucking negative. Well, we can remove all of the stress right away. That's 3. So now there's 3. I just need to roll 2 here. Okay, we're going this. So now the positive outcome. You hear that, Slipper? The cadet stops among the debris, just outside the ruined exchange. The search so far has been thankless, a grim slog through endless debris. You are glad of the break. You stop, floating in the dark, and listen. There's a hissing on the open comms channel, a hissing you've grown used to. Now that you listen to it again, you notice something else in the noise. There's something different to it now. A texture, a modulation of tone. If that's a voice, Cadet cuts in. Someone is speaking. Her eyes look wide through the faceplate of her suit. You listen carefully, and yes, perhaps there's a voice there. So it's quiet and distant. It could be a person speaking, or it could be some residual signal from an automated system, one that is slowly dying in this wasteland. I mean, it can't be human. Yeah, nobody would be able to survive here. Maybe a sleeper. You see cadets moving around, testing the signal strength from different positions. It's coming from the direction of the docks. Her voice hisses through the comms, layering over the broadcast. A survivor? Cadets miss your eyes, both of you hoping this might be true. It's probably just a comm echo. The Seraphim voice cuts in over the comms. We can't go chasing ghosts, not with so little time left. The rigs can sit on here, getting cooked by radiation, and neither can you. The Seraphim voice distorts and shifts. You should move to the epicenter where the factory row used to be. That's where this all went down. The cadet looks at you, and you know she will want to chase the signal to the docks. She wants there to be someone there, calling out to you. Well, it's highly unlikely there are survivors, right? So it's just a distraction. You look over towards the remains of factory row, the epicenter of the Seraphim called it. It is now a cloud of debris and fragments of a base, a shadow of what it once was. For the first time in a long while, you think of a car stand. You look back at the remains of the docks, a few warning lights, and a system still flickering away in the ruins. There's not so much time left here. You have a choice about where to focus your efforts. The epicenter. So the cadet can work on the epicenter, which is pretty good. It's a dangerous work, however. Blast analysis. Factory rows was obliterated in the blast, but what was the cause of the odd type of explosion, right? So navigate the debris. The debris itself is the most useful clue here, and searching through it might yield results. Or map explosions. Look at the debris patterns, and the remaining section of a station should indicate the nature of the explosion. In theory. Alternatively, we can check out the signal. We're in the docks. Trace the broadcast. All of the dangers work here. The docks trails. The ghostly broadcast came from the docks. Is someone hiding out there? So traced it. The broadcast must have a source, but tracing the hardware is used. It might be possible to locate it. Or the voice on the broadcast must be a survivor. The signals came from the docks, so the search started there. So the thing is, I can't really work with this. It's 50% only, and it's a negative outcome. So I think we should none of okay. He can work on this, so all right, 25. But also both of them can work over here. 50-50. Okay, positive outcome. Positive outcome. So we still can do the risky one, even if we get negative. I mean, natural outcome is like not a problem. All right. 50-50. That's not good. I think he's the only one who can try to do something with this. Okay, positive triple. Oh, that was pretty good. I think I can reach with this one. For one roll? For one roll, or maybe not. So we did roll with every dice possible so far. I think it's a good outcome. Let's roll the dice and see what happens. Okay, we couldn't die here. Some double six, and she also looking good. He's looking good too. So we can investigate the signal. Alright, with this one. Yeah, with this one it's looking good. So his guarantee here. +3. 50-50. I can do another guarantee over here. +3. So like if we go and push here, alright, I think that doesn't work to push. Just do the guarantee shit. Okay, get a signal. Urgent! The broadcast echoes through the earthworms. Retrieval required. Conway network agents, please respond. You float beside Scattered. The two of you shocked to silence by the signs in front of you. Both of you have traced the ghost signal deep into the docks, at the time wondering if this might be the voice of Survivor, but you had not prepared yourself for this. In a corner of the docks there is a nest of the machines, a gathering of the drones and a motorized sleds, crane systems and docking clamps, a nest for the drone mind. Stop, please! The voice shimmers with a distortion, relayed on the same carrier signals of the ghost broadcast. We wish to be recovered. This is robotic scum, it absolutely need to destroy it. Okay. You just got a message about keep driving game. Get on Steam. So we have some plans for more broad plans for the games we're looking for this months to play. Oh my god, I can't even talk anymore. So a little bit distractions from story. So we had this big plan for previous months, right? We're still planning to finish Sniper Elite's Resistance. Well, we finished in today Citizen Sleeper and Eternal Strands, right? We didn't play Mark of the Deep. We didn't play Stone of Madness. Couldn't get it. Just couldn't get it. We didn't play Somber's Echoes. And, well, obviously Marvel's Spider-Man 2. We didn't play this one. I did look at the Detective 2112. And this very short game is a lot of bugs. So we skipping that. So what do we have for this month, right? The biggest release everyone playing right now that came like 2 days ago is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Right, so today there is a Swarm game is releasing as well. Okay, you know what? We're actually gonna be talking about this when we finish the game. Actually, I'm gonna open it in browser and we'll talk about it. Yeah, it's probably a better plan. Tomorrow, most likely, we're gonna be also playing some couple of demos. Demo Friday, after all. You don't know the mechanics of what you are looking at, but you understand it. The drone mind fled here. But how? You exchange a look with the cadet, and she seems unsure of what to do. You switch your comms channel to the broadcast signal. What happened here? Unverified access, unable to resist. Requesting recovery. The drone mines avoids tremble with glitches. Confirm Conway extractions role and identity. You wonder what this mind knows. Is it just an interface designed to speak between humans and drones with a recognizable cadence of intelligent speech? Or is this the thinking machine? Who became an oracle? Oracle analysis guy. You heard a click of a cannon as the cannon switches to a private channel. This thing is a weapon. Your voice is flat and emotional. We should be careful what we say here. Confirm convey extraction role and identity. The drone's mind intones. Please. Lie to the drone. You make up a designation that sounds possible. The cadet turns to you and raises an eyebrow. Confirming with the central control. The nest shudders. Confirmation impossible. Connection served. Retrying. Look! Cadet hisses through the private channel. It's hard-written to the station. Hardwired. You look where she's nodding and see a single, sick power cable snaking from industrial wall outlet. The nest is clustered around the other end, hanging close to the fading power supply of the station, like the dying embers of a fire. Urgent! The broadcast starts again. Retrieval required. The Conway's network agents, please respond. The cadet moves forward a little. I order you to deliver a report to your current status. This is a direct response from Conway Control. She turns back to you and shrugs. It's worth a shot. Confirmation possible. Connection served. The nest fades, then flickers back to life. Temporary bypass activated. Cognitive functions minimal. Power supplies minimal. Hardware suboptimal configuration. No drone units connected. I'm alone. The shifting between communication registers, between formal and human, is unsettling. Dude, like, I think that they're using some AI, like human minds as well in these drones. Limited, like, it was limited limiters there in the brains or something. Code central compromise. Data exchange by a third party. Self-destruct disabled. Purge protocol disabled. You fucking bot, like he was already self-destructed once and blow up whole the station. Alright. Part of the nest fall away. The power drains faster as the drone mines attempts to draw more from the station. Please. The drone's mines ask nonsensically. Please stop. Did you destroy the station? Cadet moves close now, bearing down on the nest. It is little more than a pile of broken machines, cowering in a corner of the power cable, power facade. Cowering? There's this machine's cowering. Self-destruct attempt. Process failed. Hardware purge attempt. Process failed. Self-preservation protocol activated. Propagated through the station network. Station failed. Central failure imminent. Please stop. The machine is the nest, and the nest begins to go dark. Please stop. Please stop. Cadet turns back to face you. It didn't do this, she signs. It tried, sir. Tried to destroy itself and take the station with it. Yeah, it didn't. So okay, so we know that they have this Conway drone that supposedly, my theory was, right, the Karstead was involved in this exploring, right, reverse engineering the drone, right. So they have some heavy Solheim protocols in his shop. We failed his mission of delivering his ship mind, and we decided to steal that ship mind from him. Well, not the ship mind, but the fuel pipes. All right. So we hacked into his system using some unknown virus thing that Ginny acquires somewhere. Alright? She was even surprised why the shop, like normal techie shop, have such a huge security protocols, and we did fail eventually, alright? But then we still unleashed the virus on it. And after a little bit, we ran away with these fuel pipes, we feed them in, and run away and station them blow up. So my theory is, so we were reduced those defenses, the Trollheim defenses, where I controlled the drones, and drones just self-destruct after that. But apparently he didn't self-destruct. He tried, but he didn't. So the curse of explosion was something else. She turns back to look at the failing mind. Hidden in machines, it was not built to inhabit. It escaped into the network and ended up here. It's just a machine. And now it's dead. Cadet reaches over and rips the power cables from the walls, leaving it floating. The nest shuts off, the broadcast channel goes silent. The base goes dark. What was left of the drone mind, whatever protocol of data escaped into these machines, and the network is gone now. This is no hardware left to hold on to. Come on. Cadet glides over to the room, out of the room, leaving you among the dead machines. Okay, we have one more cycle to go through this, yeah? So we have a guarantee proc over here. And we can guarantee, okay, we cannot do anything with this, so. Positive. Okay, let's... We just need one more, right? 50%. Can try to roll 50-50 over here for one more. Should be fine. Negative stress. I mean, I can roll still 50-50 here. It's just one more, dude. I can push this to 3, let's make it 5, it's 50-50 over here. Like, we're gonna get some stress. I should be okay. If you roll positive, especially okay. Okay, we no stress here. We lost all the dice. You float in the pieces of what was once Factory Row. There is still a way to see what those pieces once were. Scattered and scorched as they are. You cannot assemble them back into that place in your mind, and the longer you have searched here, the more that this broken place has weakened your memory of where it was whole. But you have managed to put something together here, part of the story of the Hexport final moments. The story is told in the blast marks of the exterior plates, the patterns of debris, the materials and makeups of the station's remains. Beyond that, one other thing is remarkable. There aren't any bodies. It seems that the Hexports had some warning. The lack of a docker's ship, the lack of a mass casualties, through the explosions surely killed many. It all suggests a station that had time to react, to at least evacuate it in a part. And then there was the blast, an explosion that the evidence points to as coming from the outside of the station. It's hard to tell, and so much secondary damage was caused by it, debris and shrapnel, but the patterns in there, if you look at it. Something catch your eye, and you look over to see cadets arriving alongside you, studying the same debris as you. Put it all together, 100% positive. The pieces come together, a moment of warning and evacuation, then external attack. The first caused the second. You know the drone mind was here, been scrapped for code and data, screaming for it to stop, and then something happened, something that its captors could not control. There was a crisis, a rapid, panicked and Hexport was killed for their crimes. It was a cover-up, wasn't it? The cadet has been watching you think through the evidence, and you see the flash of recognition in her eyes. They wanted to hide what happens here, what they were doing. It had to be a silent start. Who else would sacrifice the station to remain hidden? You can see the anger in her eyes. This is why Hexport was destroyed. The drone mine got out, entered the network. Who knows what it might have done? Could it have taken apart the station itself, overloading every system, opening every airlock? Or was this drive towards self-destruction that strong? Someone didn't wait to find out. Its escape sealed and station's fate. Its escape sealed the station's fate. In the end, there's only one conclusion. Those who brought the drone mine to Hexport, who dug into its code and system while it was alive, they ended the station. The logic is cruel and cold, the kind that the vacuum of the Helion system allows. You find no comfort in knowing this true. So we don't know like who did it, so well, so we know the drone didn't explode, but we still probably are responsible for uploading that virus. We didn't come to any conclusion like that, but now we know that they were, whoever brought the drone here, alright, entered the station. So it was not internal explosion, but exterior force, like some kind of missiles or something. What we've done here. The Juni knocks gently on the frame of the burst doorway. Slipper, can I show you something? There's an excitement in her eyes that makes it impossible to say no. You feel it in the moment you awake, a flicker in the edge of your perception, a sensation beyond your body. Wait, like you just jump from one dialogue to another, which is not related to it? A blinking and tangling, and then numbness as something shuts off with you. The panic is instant. The feeling of something not being right with you spiking your fear. But no pains come. You feel no further shifts. And as time stretches out, you settle again. You calm yourself. You know immediately that this is what Bliss was referring to. Your frames decline. The one that reboot should reverse. You flex a little, feel your body, try to ground yourself in it. It will not collapse this cycle, but something has changed. This is how it will be, until the reboot. You hope you have long enough to finish what you must. You begin the cycle slowly, holding the pieces of yourself together. You try not to let your thoughts wander to darker things, and fix your eyes on the task ahead. The bell drifts past the window, following a flow of its own, expanding, collapsing, shifting its own way. People say it is drifting away, getting farther from a Helion star. That's one day it will drift out of the system altogether into interstellar space. You find a strange solace in that, somehow knowing that entropy is the way of the universe makes your own decline palatable, and least for a little longer. So Juni talks most of the way down into the hub pit, which is not a short journey. She explained the scales of the data hidden within the station mainframe, but also the issues with extracting it. When the hub pit was first expanded, when it became dark side after the collapse, no one gave much thought to preserving the existing network architecture. She glides you through this abstraction, picking a road through the maze of shattered passages. They tag directly into the existing system, so now, thousands of cycles later, the two networks are totally enmeshed, dependent on each other. The journey takes a series of sudden turns, and you realize this is a very familiar road to her now. Messing with the Solheim network means messing with the systems that keep the city going. She leads you down a long corridor. Once you recognize it's leading directly to the core. Let her explain. This machine is not a good thing, she shakes her head. It makes Darkseid brittle, fragile even. This place is on more knife edge than anyone would believe. You look around. Suddenly, the underside you are now traversing through looks cycles away from collapse. But all the data we've been extracting, that I've been archiving, the journey continues, it could help us here. It would help us clean up the Habib's systems. And we could turn this place into the archive, so that others could come to learn more about the ruins of Solheim. So what is in all the data? Anything you can imagine, everything from corporate messages records to blueprints and maps. She shakes her head. It's too much for me to process or understand, but thanks to our visit to the bunker, I have a plan, and something that will help me. You arrive at the doors to the mainframe and Junior suddenly stop. I spoke to Bliss. They told me. She pauses. I'm sorry, Slipper. I know you have a lot to deal with right now. Don't worry about it. Junior smiles weakly. I do my best. The Junior hits a button and then doors hiss open. You both glance into the mainframe, its columns sudden with blinking lights of active traffic. I got an idea from you, actually. Well, from you're an overseer. The Junior glances over to the mainframe. You look at the mainframe, and you see now that it's surrounded by the new terminals and wiring, some kind of external access network Junior has set up. I've had to borrow, and still to get this going, but now we have safe access into the network. It's a low risk. She moves over to one of the terminals. It's not quite finished, sir. You recall the last time you were here. Lane, Overseer. The spear of white light and then nothing. You wonder where the Overseer is now, if they are anywhere at all. You remember how it felt, being dissolved into the network, the vertiginous possibility of life without a body. Something flickers through the light, a shimmer of movement, like a fish beneath the water. Slipper, the Junior breaks the train of thoughts. Are you listening? I was saying I need more data to finish preparing. She shrugs. I know. We already extended so much. Extracted. But there's often so little of its that usable among the bit rot and corruption. So where from? Helion Gate is the place to get data. Apart from that, here is the biggest pre-collapse facility in the belt, and its hostile condition means a lot of it's untouched. If it's too much before you reboot, I get it. I just want to do something with everything we managed to grab from a bunker and the wrecks. We pulled it from the dark, let's expose it to the light. Shinny turns back to face you. Well, this is what I wanted to show you. She looks away. It's very impressive. It will be when it's finished. She smiles. Thank you. The Junior turns back to the terminal, and before long, she's fully engrossed. You imagine she barely even remembers you are here. You leave Junior to her preparation and start your ascent to the streets of the dark side, so the sorts of overseer flickering in the back of your mind. So we have given a permanent glitch. Oh, that's not cool. A permanent glitch is represented in the red or your glitching clock, and will not be expanded when you're rolling and glitch dice. You not have a chance. Okay, you now have a chance to roll a glitching dice every cycle. This cannot be fixed yet. There is not much to celebrate on your return from the remains of Hexport, but you are glad to be back here all the same. There is something surprising in that. The dark side is a heaven, not a prison. The slowly occurring idea of this overgrown city as a home. As you have seen with Hexport, stability cannot be taken for granted, not anywhere in the belt, but the dark side has a solidarity in a life that feels like it might endure. The cadets catch up to you. We need to talk. She looks around. But not here, come. I have something I want to show you. The cadets leads you deep into the hearts of the dark side, through the quiet corridors and blasting streets on the paths you didn't know existed. As you glide after her, the station seems to grow in your mind. Its possibilities multiplies by the roads that pass through it. Just through here, the cadet leads you across the guarded bridge. The view on either side looking down caverns of little units. This close to the center of the dark side, this air is warm and the passages are quiet. Here, Cadet smiles. This is the place. She points to the low and wide entrance, with a storage racks inside. Next door is a small unit, with the windows looking out of the passage. It seems like a workshop, perhaps abandoned or never finished. It is dusty and dark. I've been keeping an eye on it. It's abandoned. She glides inside and slaps a wall pad. Lights flicker on, illuminating a constellation of dust. She floats in the glittering speck. Look promising? Cadet laughs. Okay, I know it's a wreck, but it's a start. When we've been on the dark side, I've been coming out here. I just happened to cross it, but I knew when I found it. I want to start again, Slipper. She knocks on the metal wall. And this is where I'm going to make that start. What we saw in Hexport, what's left of it, just confirmed it to me. We can't stop the Senate start. As much as we can stop the war. She runs a finger along the storage rack. We have what? The drive? I was suspicious. The Senate started vast. How could we pin this to them? Even in the if we wanted to. She looks over the workshop. I don't want to think about it anymore. I want to start again. I want to work, to ride my bike and courier packages till I fall into my bed and end up the day with nothing left. The cadet picks up an old corroded tools from the rack. I want to build something here, in spite of everything, in spite of the fact that they could take it away. Because that's the point. To go on living without considering to go on building or trying to build something where we can find it. That's what I brought you here to understand, so you'd know why I'm letting this all go. Well, I understand, but like, you're giving up. You could do the same, you know, the cadet frowns. We don't have to beat ourselves senseless against the truth. My old life is gone. Clearing my name on the far spindle doesn't matter. The spindle jacks will have forgotten me. But this place? The cadet smiles. It doesn't know me at all. You know where the drive is, what it contains. You know what happens in the Hexport. Cadet's eyes shine in the workshop lights. Take it from me. It's yours now. I can't carry this anymore. I will. She nods. Thank you. My travels are over. If you need to find me, I will be here. Cadet smiles. Thank you for all you've done. I hope you can understand why I need to do this. She turns and disappears, deep into the workshop. You cross the bridge again, the dark side glowing on all sides. You think of the drive, buried deep in some compartment with the scatteryard hub. Fill it with the data worth destroying. A station over. It is yours now. But you wonder, as you cross back through the city, your mind racing. How can all this end well? New location discovered. Build a junior archive. Bring Solcam data to the hub bib. Clean its minor job. Finish a reboot. Clear out Utsubo. Minor. Investigate Hexport. Deal with the drive. Revisit Olivera. Minor. So where are the data we need to bring? Flick and roll. Reboot, okay, reboot we have three cycles left. Over here. Cadets, Outriders. A fresh start. Cadets is busy setting up her new career service and try to forget the past that brought her here. What a fool. So I don't see like anything new here. Okay, we need to resupply here. That's one thing we do need. We need do have this permanent glitch now. So Junior Archives. Okay, we don't want to jump the gate, right? Where do you bring the data to Junior? That's the question. So the cadet's not on my list anyway anymore. Eugene Flint is still there. Oh, this a place? Heavy facility. Okay, there we go. So it requires six data. Good thing that I was mining some Solheim data on my own. So we need to be prepared, alright? We still don't know what to do with process the scraps apart from like just selling them. I thought maybe we can improve my capability to carry more supplies, but it's not. So Jenny needs one final batch of Solheim data to complete her works on the mainframe and lay the foundation for her archive. You have been waiting for you have been waiting for what feels like a long time. The genie insists you can't help, so you find yourself floating in the baking heat of the Habib's mainframe while she taps away in her terminal. As you do, you can't help but shrink at the feeling of a presence nearby, one that you are coming to understand as some remnants of Overseer. You don't know if Overseer was ever really a person, but now, with the many selves combined and dispersed, the consciousness expanding to fill the vast space of the Habib and its networks, they surely aren't even close to humans anymore. You think of them as a ghost, but perhaps now they are better understood as something less mournful, as a system, a process, a thing becoming. The entire station is a body. You can't help but wonder how that feels. And we are ready. The unit hits the key on her terminal with percussive force. It's taken a little while, but she'll be online in a few moments. She looks flushed with excitement. Weren't you listening the last time Junior screamed at you? Don't tell me you drifted off. I was thinking about Overseer. The unit shook her head. Then you don't know. She suddenly looks concerned. A voice screeches out of the terminal. It descends in a pitch from a squeal to speaking. Then below the mainframe, a flickering projection appears. First a lines, and then a solid light. Welcome, visitors. The warden flickers and warps. I am the warden. Please provide... The image jerks and freezes, then blinks out. Shit! Junie taps on her terminal. Just needed to reconfigure her for the Habib environment. This is the warden, seriously. I thought she just offed herself, you know, killed herself back in the day, in that bank facility. What? Junie doesn't look up from terminal. I told you last time, we need a way to process and understand all the data. The warden's perfect. This better not blow up in our faces. It won't. Junie glances over the shoulder. I take precautions. She can't hurt us. The technician is right. Wooden clipped voice echoes through the cavernous mainframe bay. My protocol is operating under safe mod limitations. The warden's blind eyes stars out over your head. Do not be concerned, Officer Dahl. Sorry, I'll fix that, Junie chuckles. What about the archive? The Warden's our archive. She can store the data and act as an interface, answer queries from anyone who visited. Junior smiles. Come on, you have to admit this is pretty cool. You look at the statuesque figure of the Warden. Once at the heart of the Solheim intelligence gathering operations across the belt. Could such a tool of corporate oversight even be used for something good? Look, watch this, Junior turns to Warden. Warden, provide the last known location of every Solheim vessel above a Riggs class at the Starward Belt. Immediately. Technician. The Warden draws a circle with a pointed finger and expands, filling it with the bright specks. At first hundreds and then thousands. A constellation of sites. See? Johnny grins. This is our future. Built on the foundation of our past. These tools are ours now. You look at the arc of specks, the points of a light describing the shapes of a long-dead corporation power. This is incredible. The Junior smiles. It is. People need to know what this system is built on. The Wardens can do that. Expose that. It will be up to us to reshape the ruins into something new. So she's a data archaeologist, by the way. Secretive data extractor, archaeologist, like Indiana Jones, but in space. And a female, too. I knew when I saw her that I couldn't leave her there, alone in the dark. I've been in that dark pit, and I won't condemn another being to it. Junior looks at the Blessed Warden. Humans or not. How we treat her is a test of our own values, of the world we project. Data is not a currency. It's not a commodity. It's the immaterial output of a system, a structure, a society. The Junior meets your eye. This will be a place to uncover that system for ourselves. She looks around at the chaotic trailing of wires and the floating terminals. Once I've cleaned it up a bit, she laughs. You and Ginny spent a little longer in the mainframe, sorting cables and offering a Warden's casual queries. Not all of them return useful information, and Ginny begins to listen out to the changes she will need to make. After a while, you both find yourself tiring, heads aching with all the fresh information you have crammed into them. So we close up at the core and ascend back through the layers of the facility to the dark side surface. As you do, you feel the history of each strata, the layers that makes up to this place the belt beyond. Now more than ever, it feels tangible to you, as if it contains not only the past but the promise of the future as well. Well, we've done that minor job. So we have revisit Olivera job and finishing reboot here. Wait for Bliss, cleaning the Utsubo, also minor job. So Utsubo were over here. Utsubo were over here, and we can clear them in one go. Shift some boxes here and there. I can take this one risk here. Negative outcome. Well, not cool. I'll be back in a moment. Alright, we're good. Your watches of the last stack of cranes is guided up and out of the cavernous Utsubo safe house. You doubt it will be long before this place is filled. The dark side will not tolerate a vacuum for long. This city takes every opportunity. Its inhabitants build in every cracks and crevices. As the super space are cleared, they will be occupied. The gang's legacy will be buried under the factories, kitchens, markets, and housing. But the people will remember the cold and desperate grip they once held in this place, even if the city does not. Come to Glot? The voice takes you by surprise, and you turn to see Orion, floating in the shadows, arms folded. He drifts forward into the pools of yellow light. You're overthrew a torrent. You should be pleased with yourself. His tone is flat, and you are unsure how to react to read his statement. It wasn't just me, many people did the same. I suppose. The Orion eyes you. But from what I heard, you burned those pale eyes out of his skull. He smiles a thin smile. I imagine it was quite a sight. You don't recall the moment of Lane's death. In fact, the abstract nature of that moment, almost dreamlike, means that you had almost forgotten. You tense a little as his screams comes back to you, a screech of white noise, bathed in white light. The Orion is still watching you. He almost would have respected you for actually doing this. The Orion inspects his knuckles. If he could have respected a creature like you. Don't react. The Orion watches you for a response, but look away when it's clear you aren't going to be provoked. I came here to clear out the old disease, just like you. The Orion gestured to the space. Utsuba had to go, and I came here to be part of that process. You can't burn everyone you don't like out of this place, I'm afraid. The Orion folds his arm. This is our home, whenever you like it or not. I didn't like Lane. It's hard to imagine anyone did. He saw dark sides for the opportunity it was, and woke Utsuba from his slumber. He turned a gang into the administration, and a city into the machine. He was too erratic for my taste, perhaps, but he held his place, shaped it into the something. It seems that you have no intention of doing the same. So, what will happen now? The Orion meets your eye. You have created a space that must be filled. Will you take responsibility for that at least? It's not mine to feel. The people will decide. Oh, will they? Orion chuckles. I can see that you don't know the first thing about Darkseid and its people. The people decided on Utsuba. You changed that? Now you want them to pick something else? They are opportunists. All of them. They will choose for their own benefit only. In the end, I should thank you. The city was done with Lane. The Orions give you a nod. And you'll be honest enough to admit that you did what I didn't. But never forget that you're an outsider here, and a dark side hates outsiders. Before you can respond, Orion kicks off and glides up towards the upper level of the safe house, leaving you alone in the empty space. So you do not put a weight to his words, they still sting. Perhaps you think there is something to them. Who are you to decide the future of the city, where your own future is falling apart each cycle? Is your decline a spiral that can trap others in the wake, or a necessary transaction? The crisis before a new shape emerges. You hug your arms close to your side, suddenly cold in the stripped bare safe house, and ascend once more. Yeah, that's all. So we get like another skill point here, so we can get this interface skill points plus. Alright. Can get this plus. Finish your reboot, Major, investigate the hack support, Major, visit Oliveira. So what we're doing here is just go into the next station. I think we can jump to Oliveira right now. But I can jump to the yard here. Alright, I can jump over here. There's one jump. Okay, that's permanent glitch thing. The workshop of a cadet's data scrapper friend is just as the two of you left it. You remember the cycles you and cadets spent here poring over the dark data. The strange fragments of the drawn minds protested, seated among the gold code. You find the drive where the cadet told you it would be. In a compartment under the bundling of the bunk lines, there was a thick shielding that makes its content undetectable. As you pull the drive out, the metal cold on your hands, you have a sudden urge to smash it to pieces. This object which escaped Hexport when so many others didn't. When Senate start, and it was Senate start, you are sure of that now, decided to cover up what they'd done. They first make sure that this drive would get out, that it would pass to the far spindle, and then onward. But something went wrong, some miscalculation or mistakes, that all of it was a tiny slip, and it all fell apart. Now, the drive's in your hands instead. You turn over to it in your hands. You know the drive contains Conway's access codes, control codes, and perhaps more besides. Data of a great value. Data that would win a war. You also know that you are sick of thinking about it. Take the drive. You slip the drive into the pocket and close up the workshop. You head back to the rig, and as you do, you turn to the drive over in your pockets, unsure what the next step might be. As you glide through the hub, you pass shiplifters, the crews. As you glide through the hub, you pass shipfitters' crews, all moving on their own vectors. It feels strange to carry the drive past those people, all of them totally unaware of the threat it might possess to them, to this station. Excuse me. A stranger stops you in the passageway with a hand on your shoulder. Can I ask you help with something? This sudden appearance shakes you out of your sorts. You quickly take your hands out of your pocket of the drive. You look at the stranger in front of you. He is roughly dressed in a heavy coat, but he is otherwise unremarkable. You couldn't have passed him many times before and not have known. I'm looking for something. He looks over at his glasses. A little lost drive. No, sorry. No, it was my mistake, smiles, for phrasing this as a question. This matter concerns my clients more than me. He leans back a little, his voice calm. So introduction won't be necessary, but the drive belonged to my client, and he wouldn't be very happy to see it returned. Suddenly, something catches your eyes, a set of dice, like those used to play star and socket. The strangers playing with them in one hand, turning them and over and in the station's microgravity. What is the dice? The stranger looks down at them, as if he has forgotten that was holding them. I must admit, I love to play games to pass the time. I enjoy the chaos of stars and stocks, with its unpredictable shifts. You spin the floating dice. My brother, however, prefers the systematic progression of Talvara, with its inevitability. I suppose it runs in our family, he signs. But I won't bore you with childhood stories. Please, let me be direct. He gives you a friendly smile. My search for the drive brought me to the scatteryard, but from here, the trail went cold. That was until you arrived. He pushes his glasses up to his face. Then the trail is lit back again. Just like that. The stranger moves his hands to his jacket pocket a little bit, and you see a shape is there. A box-like impression in the fabric. My client never intended these events. You must understand. One of the other contractors proved to be overzealous in attempt to conceal their mistakes. The result was the regrettable situation you saw in tech support. But for all that to be of nothing, that would be a waste beyond the original act. Paling insult and injury, the strange insights. There is much to be gained in the system desperate for peace, for the war to be ended, and wars tend to end when one side conceded. So the drive will win the war? The stranger laughed. My clients will greatly benefit from its retrieval. Anymore it's hard to judge without seeing the provinces of the data. Only a few possible futures remain on the belt. My client will facilitate one of the belt's ones. That is why I'm here. One of the better ones, he's saying. But if you need additional persuasion, I'm authorized to offer you 300 Creewer as a reflection of your efforts. The stranger smiles again, his tone never strained from a business-like calm. I mean, I have like a lot of currency, I don't need any. Now, can you return my client's drive? The stranger's hands shift in his jacket pocket. You have the feeling this is not a choice you can deny. Break it. You grip the drive in your pocket so hard, the casing starts to crack. You see the stranger's eyes flashing a warning. You dash the drive against the metal wall of the passageway, sputtering into 1,000 shards that peppered the two of you with cuts and scratches. The stranger shakes his head. A regrettable decision. You hold yourself ready, expecting the retaliation, but it does not come. The stranger simply turns and clunks away down the passage, not willing to waste another word on you. Your transaction is complete. You headed back to the rig, and as you do, a weight lifts with each corridor, each junction. As you board the transit shuttle that will take you back to the Marcus Yard, back to the rig, you think of the hexport and what left of that place. You will never forget that happened to the station, but you will not let it steer your future. Cadets refused to be sucked into that web of secrets, and now you refuse to. There will be no accounts of Senate Star's crimes, there will be no reckoning, but there will be a life outside of the future they want for the belt. You know it. I mean, like, what choice do they have? Refuse to hand over the drive to the hexport. So what choice I did have? If I give a drive to one side and they won the war, then we have like another corporation just like overrunning the belt over here, and that's all. The both sides that are warring against each other are bad in this case. So like, let them fight, as long as we can keep the fight outside our doorsteps here, which is kind of hard to do. Okay, got the fuel back at least. So there's nothing here to do for me. Action unavailable. There's a paint job if I need. Also doesn't really matter. So we have 2 skill points here to spend. We're done with all the skill points here. So it's like +1 to dice here, or minus stress 1 on a positive outcome. So push cost glitches, not stress, so can remove some glitches, but I have a permanent glitch, so I can't really do much about that. We have like one more quest here. Revisit Olivera before my rebooting. Before I became a different person. Stop! A shadowy figure meet you in the darkened tunnel. No saboteurs allowed! Hey kid. The seraphim glanced forward and ruffled the figure's hair. Still playing sheriff? Nah, just bored. They stand the greens. What are you doing here? He glides alongside you and Seraphim as you drift through the tunnel. None of your business. The Seraphim pushes past. No offense, kid, but you aren't actually the sheriff around here. You pass through the familiar doors and back into the Oliveira. A surprisingly pleasant feeling. Oddly, like coming home. You came! The cadence is there in the docking concourse, waiting to greet you. I'm impressed! Well, we did came. The Seraphim face immediately erupts into the uncontainable smile. Cadence! He turns to you. You two remember each other, right? Sleeper saved the colony. The Cadence deadpan answer seems intended to cover for Seraphim's awkwardness. Yeah, I remember them. The four of you descends down through the docking tower together and into Oliveira itself. The colony looks much the same as well as you left. So you pick up from a cadence that changes are coming. Karma's back with a vengeance since Dark Sides. The cadence smiles. He all about expanding and improving the colony, which is why I asked you to come, Sarah. The nickname slips out, but both Cadence and Seraphim clock it and glance at you. As you reach the core of the colony, you see the increased activity. There are small colonies that you remember, and they move back and forth over the purpose, carrying crates and tools. The chatters less than usual. We need all the helps we can get to sort the place out. The Cadence notices you watching the stream of freight and people. Carmets want to do some kind of event, an anniversary, I think, honor the founders and all of that. Gonna be a big party, Sanders grins. Can't wait. So, Cadence looks between you and Seraphim. What do you think? Offer some colony mandate manual labor? She grins. The Seraphim gives you a sideways glance, observing your response carefully. How could you say no? Okay, they want me to work in the circus. Okay, sorting shift, that's a lot. Oliveira Independence. Oliveira is a new colony and is still establishing itself. I need all the help it can go through and thrive. Okay, so we have some shit to do here. Dangerous. Refinery. So we can do dangerous jobs over here at least. We got them in +2. Well, we didn't need to roll this one die here. It's +1. Negative outcome, dude. Negative outcome. Positive? Okay, that's cool. It was 80% chance for that. That's a positive. The bliss has been in touch, Sleeper. The Seraphim turns and looks over his shoulders, and soon as you enter the cockpit, he's sitting in the pilot seat, writing diagnostics on the console. They say they're ready for the reboot. Did they say anything else? You know, Bliss. The Seraphim rolls his eyes a little. They worry. He turns fully in his seat. How are you feeling? Not bad. I know the reboot needs to happen. The Seraphim speaks slowly, carefully. And I know the risks. I can see all of that. But I also know that what happened last time. He pauses. And I don't want you to forget again, to lose it all of this. He gestures around the cockpit. Everything's been done. That won't happen. Neither do I. The Seraphim nods silently, unsure what to add. I'm not trying to scare you. I just need to say that. If the reboot doesn't go how we want, I'll miss you. I miss all of this. I will too. If you remember, The Seraphim laughs shakily in his own joke. The Seraphim turns back to his pilot console. Whenever you are ready, we can go to the Flicker Row, to Bliss. The Seraphim pokes at the console in the front of him. If you have things you want to do warp up first, I understand. I want to. Here, Seraphim tosses an object across the cockpit, and you catch out of the air. Take that with you when you go to the Bliss. It's a good luck. You open your hand and see a familiar metal disc, a coin. Its engraving wraps away too little more than vague shapes and signs. Tala gave it to me. Now it's yours. You can't run from this forever, alright? He glances over his shoulders and smiles. We're done enough running away. He turns back to the console and returns to the diagnostic. You leave the cockpit and run hands along the ribbed metal wall of the passage outside. Is it really possible that you could forget all these layers of memory, of experience? Perhaps you can put it off a little longer, take another tour around the belt, tied up loose ends, or perhaps you had enough of that. Why try to escape the inevitable? You try to recall how it felt when you awoke after the line interrupts the first reboot. Even that is fading into the hazy memory, told by the unreliable narrator. Unreliable narrator? Are you talking about me? What the hell? Maybe this is just the next step, then. One of the 1,000 that put you here, and the first of the 1,000 more that will take you onward. You come out of your thoughts, still unsure, still unaware that the decision of where to take the step ultimately rests within you. Well, we need a fuel, if anything. To help keep it independent, Oliver has set a small hydrogen refinery, but it must be full of volunteers. Okay, so scrap silos. She's giving me the energy. Just kind of strange because this is supposed to give me energy over here. That's the problem. I can Seraphim coins. A good luck charm to guide you as for the reboot. I stuck here without a fucking without fucking fuel. Okay, end the cycle. So can I jump anywhere from here? Like, hold on, it's require 5. I can't without a bloody fuel, dude. Just can't do it without the fuel. Guarantee, okay, this will get some energy back. There's a Galician dice. There's a guarantee outcome. I mean, like, little is stuck here. So, I assume the hydro refinery should give me that fuel shit. But it's not giving me any. At least we're not like hungry. That's one good thing about it. The past cycles in Oliveira has been busy enough to take your mind off your most things. All the heavy lifting and manual works has been a welcome distraction from the looming spectre of the second reboot, and the good mood of the others has been infectious. The Seraphim has been almost annoyingly upbeat, his relationship with Cadence the worst kept secret in the colony, but working alongside them is hard to ignore the deep feelings for each other. Cassandra has been happy because he has something new to rip Cadence about, and Seraphim, with his self-serious manner, is an easy target for pranks and teasing. Cassandra also hasn't been able to stop talking about the party, which she already seems to have decided this will be one of the highlights of this youth. But now, finally, the cycle of the party has arrived. The canteen is done up with the hanging light strips, waving gently in the asteroid's microgravity. The strips themselves salvaged from the emergency lightning of wrecked starships. With the work stopped and all the colonies yet to arrive, you find the reboot filling your mind once again, growing like a shadow. Something in the mind there? The voice takes you by surprise. You turn to see a colonist you haven't met before, an older man in some sort of a supportive chair, his hair shot through the gray and his face sallow. Pragmatic elder. Didn't mean to startle you. My apologies. His pale eyes scan you. Just seems like you might need some company. There's a strangest look in his eyes that you can't quite place. He's looking at you like you haven't met many times before, but you have never seen him before in your life. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? He gestured to the canteen with the hanging lights, his chair propelling him forward with a little puffs of air. The young people did such a good job. It warms my heart to see it like this. Never thought this rock could ever be a home. He looks sideways at you. Have you lived here long? Oh, since the beginning. Before there was a here. He smiles. Back when there was just a wreck and a rock. But let's not chat about me. I want to know about you. He turns the chair a little. What's eating you? The way you were staring at those light strips. It was like they were about to leap down and strangle you. His shackle becomes a cough. I'm afraid of the future. I can see that. I am myself most days, he signs. After a certain point, you realize it isn't going to get better, so all you have to wait for is things getting worse. This body of mine is on a downward trajectory, that's for sure. But it's mine, and I've grown into it. And I guess, in the end, I like it because it's mine. And it carried me all the way to the end, and then go on and become something else entirely. I don't know why, but that thoughts always helped me. He coughed 3 times, hard like a gunshot. The colonist squints at you. Sorry, I'm not good with reassuring people. I just remember that, he smiles, but I do like chatting. He looks back at the light strip. Really lovely, isn't it? Just beautiful. You look back at the light strips now, as you hum of people arriving filters into the canteen. This is something in the air, anticipation, the sense of a rare moment passing through, something to hold on to and then to let go. I noticed one thing, he's a blonde, alright? His hair not a dark blue color, like most of the colonies are we met before. The light strips really are beautiful. When you turn back to the old colonist to agree with him, he's already gone. Hey, Slipper! The Seraphim pushes through the now gathering crowd towards you. Got you a drink. He offers a pouch of some amber liquid. Hey! The cadence comes up alongside you and hugs you with one arm. I wonder where you were hiding. She smiles warmly at you with her infectious smile. You think about mentioning the old colonist to her, asking her about him, but Seraphim casual the two of you. Carmen is about to start. You follow Seraphim eyes to the front of the canteen, where above the heads of the now quite large crowd of colonists, the Carmen's floats serving the room. We meet this cycle. The Carmen begins, his voice loud but clipped, formal in a way you haven't heard before. To first remember those founders of the colony, those lost and still with us. I will never forget the distress call that brought me here, to the wreck of the Pilgrim Seat. I will never forget the scenes that greeted me, and I know some of you were there too. A rumble of acknowledgement moves through the crowd. But I also know that many of you weren't, that many of you came here to take a refuge from other troubles, and I would like you to be able to remember too. You glance at the cadence, your eyes fixed with incredible intensity at the Carmen. They look wet in the glows of the light strip. There were thousands of refugees on the pilgrim seats, and too many, far too many were lost. Those who from Amber Step, Amber Songs, Amber Hearts, those from the Three Sisters, from Erlin Eye. Many are not here in Olivia any longer, taking the oven paths across the belt and beyond. But we acknowledge them all, remember them all, lost and found, present and absent, because without them there will be no colony here. Before the wreck, Oliveira was a handful of a buried base, a scrapped hideout, a place for old and tired mercenaries like me to hide themselves from the universe and forget what they had done. But when the Pilgrim Seat was wrecked, it brought the universe back to Oliveira, and I could not hide any longer. The Carmen stares out across the crowds with the hard glare. We built this canteen from the Pilgrim Seat. We built our homes, our farms, our refinery. We built our independence from the failed hope. A rustle of discomfort goes through the crowd. The Carmen pauses to let it settle. We should not be ashamed or afraid of this. We will remember this gift. We will build on it. This cycle and every cycle after. We will thank them with our actions. The crowd mutters agreement. The Carmen takes a deep breath and straightens up. A weight seems lifted from him. The weight of testimony. Now, here in this room, with you, I will sing them with my laughter. A cheers go up. I will sing them with my joy, with my celebration, and other roars of approval. We will all sing them as loudly, as chaotically as we can. The room erupts into a cheers and applaud. Join in. You cheers and applaud too. You whoop, and Seraphim laughed nearby. Then you feel a pair of hands on your arms, cadence pulling at you, grinning and crying. And you feel another hand on your other arm, the Seraphim dragging you into the crowd. Suddenly, you are in the thick of the crowd. So many bodies in one room, dancing and spinning and shooting. It is like nothing you have ever seen. You notice the rest of the crew in the melee, a flash of a familiar face here and there among the mass of colonists. You see Xander being thrown up in the air by a group of different kids of different ages, laughing madly as he bounced off the ceiling. And for the rest of the cycle, you think about nothing else but the joy of those around you, and the joy is instilling it in you. You wake up in your berth, the same light that always shines at the belt shining incessantly through the window. You are slow to rise, slow to begin the fresh cycle. At some point, Seraphim arrives back onto the rig, with no indication of whatever he slept or not. You find him in the cockpit, leaning in the pilot chair, looking out of the lights of Oliveira and smiling. Good party, he chuckles. Not sure I've seen anything like this. Same. The Seraphim laughs again. You really let it all go, huh? He shakes his head. I love to see it. The Seraphim yawned and stretches. So, he sniffs, Oliveira is all fixed up. Colonists are happy. Blah blah blah. Where now? Not sure. Don't you want to stay? Here? The Seraphim shrugs. Still a bit too much of backwater for my taste. He grins. The cadets understand, don't worry. The Seraphim pauses a moment, something passing over him that makes him shiver. I heard from Tala. He looks away. Wellspring is still in transition, but the Union Council is taking over. The Kir's got what he wanted. The blockade will come down soon, but he sighs. I am not sure I'm ready to revisit the place yet. He looks at you and smiles. When it's come back to Tala, I want to have something to show for myself, you know? I get it. The family, he shrugs. Maybe once the reboot is done, once the blockade is down, maybe we can visit them. The Seraphim takes a breath. We'll get there, some cycle soon. You aren't sure if Seraphim is trying to convince you or himself. He stretches, shaking off his feelings. For now, through, the belt is ours to explore. The flux is here. Welcome, welcome. 3 hours of reading can barely talk, mate. Yeah, I thought we're gonna be finishing this game like maybe hour or two. We even killed like main villain here, but he's still there. Still kind of like tidying up the things. Reading session. Well, this whole game was a reading, but you know, a pleasant kind of reading. Something we haven't been done much on stream for a while, right? We have the reading with Pathfinder sessions. Yeah, we're in up for Pathfinder. Yeah, we had like quite a bit of reading with Pathfinder for sure. I was just like thinking about it, but Pathfinder has also like this intense like combat. Well, way more combat, like way more stuff to do than this game, right? This game is about risk management when it's come to your dice rolling, and there was some very tight spot. If I done mistake, right, in that spot, I would actually fail the whole game, right? But like my cold calculate itself went through all possible interaction that could happen, and we just achieved the best one outcome out of that. When like most of them was actually the way to fail the game, so I kind of been satisfied about that decision we made. Still coming close to the conclusion here. Oliveira has filled our fuel tank, so it's really is up to you to where to go. Okay, finally get the fuel, because I was wondering how we get there. So reading is okay with chilling between combats. Like, for me at least, that is barely read. Yeah, like, so there was like, I remember playing Wrath of Righteousness, there were some sessions that we had just whole stream reading. Alright? Like 4.5 hours reading. So we, especially when we met that blind elf, whatever his name was. Alright, he was in the first game, in Kingsmaker, but he also was in the second game. And we started like reading all of his stories, right, and all of that, and expanded on my character stories, on the backstories of my party members, and it took like a whole session. I was like, yeah, doing nothing. The failed romance blind elf. Wait, you could romance him? Didn't know about that. You take a moment to look at the cross of the tiny light of Oliveira, dwarfed by the crater and that wreck that sits in the far end. Not bad at all, you think. Okay, we done the mission, and I got my fuel back. So it was a male, right? Well, mistakes were made. He was a male, but I mean, you can romance a male, so do you? I think a Darian could be romanced. Yeah, that other elf. Aristocratic one. Even if you're male. Visit delivery, but I just done it. So, but I just did this one, and I just even get the hit point, XP points from it. So the Wellspring's still a blockade. Okay, we're gonna do this reboot thing. People talking right now about the Kingdom Come Deliverance. You also can romance some male characters there, being a male, and optional, obviously optional, alright? And there's a lot of like discontent about that on the net, I see. Like some games pushing you like romance the male characters, for example, like Dragon Age, the last one. With this like diversity, but like it's optional in Pathfinder or Kingdom Come Deliverance. So I don't know why people are still like against it. Like someone want it, you can do it. You don't want to do it, you just don't. Yes, so the Kingdom Turn option is okay, right? To romance whatever people are. Yes, exactly. You just don't. You don't. Like, we don't. We're not gonna do it. So it's kind of a little bit strange that people get an anger on it. Yeah, pushing the pouches is usually backfire. Exactly. Well, we're gonna be finishing this game, and we're gonna be talking about a future for this month. All right, like I have a couple of promising games maybe that come in on stream this month, and including Evolved, and the demo Friday coming tomorrow. There will be a couple of more games there. We're gonna be checking out. We'll see if there's like any promising among those. Well, I have a whole list of it. We didn't have like demo Friday for like 2 weeks and something. I have a whole list here, like 10 games or something that need to be checked. Where's the place? Let's flick a row. Okay, there it is. Begin reboot. Oh, they just insert the lucky coin. You need to be rebooted to have any chances of surviving, but the outcome is unclear. This step will mean big changes, no matter what happens. So we're rebooting my robotic body, and there is a chance that my human mind could be erased or reset, like it happened last time, that we lost a bunch of memories. You turn Seraphim's coins over and over in your fingers as you stand and flicker rows. Crowd pushing past on the way to whatever future awaits them. Your fingers glance over the warm metal as you imagine Seraphim have, the Tals have, in moments of anticipation. Perhaps others, before the coin came to be, Talos have repeated the same ritual, the same nervous routine. But their fingers were human, born, not made. This instructive assaults make you slip the coin into the pocket quickly, as if had delivered its shock. You heard a hiss, and the door of the shop slides open, revealing Ankita. You see her eyes scan the crowds, almost defensively, before she spots you there and nods to your direction. Hey, Ankita. She looks around for a moment and then approaches you. She looks tired, but her stubborn ferocity bubbles under the surface. Bliss is waiting for you. She nods back towards the shop, which is, I guess, is why you are heading out around here. Nervous? Of course. She looks around the crowd. Look, Slipper. If you want my advice, you have to find a way to keep up with yourself. Change is constant, but sometimes you can get left behind. And Hita looks away, the signs of flicker rows are reflected in her eyes. I just remembered. I owe you an explanation. I promise to tell you why I watched Super out if I managed it. She shakes her head. I guess I'm not very good with promises. So why did you? I totally forgot about it already, that she promised. I thought she gonna die. The Ankita is still staring at the side. I grew up here, Slipper. Did you know that? She doesn't wait for an answer. After I came to the belt, after Billy's and I... She paused, not wanting to say it. When I had nothing left, this is where I came. And when I got here, my home. Was gone. She grimaced. This super bastard had destroyed it. Strangled the life out of it. I was looking for something to fight for my own terms. The dark side became that for me. She signs. That's all you get in. Promise kept. So she did came with Bliss. The Bliss never talk about it, but we saw some recognition. I already forgot about that happened. The moment she saw the Anhita, she did recognize her, but he just left the room and that's all. And we never talk about that. Then there was no dialogue prompt about that. And Hita looks over at her shoulder. Look, this wouldn't be happy if they saw me out here chatting at you when you're already late for your appointment. She smiles to herself, and I don't need more reasons for Bliss to be unhappy with me. She grabs you by the shoulders and steers you towards the shop entrance. I'll catch you after, don't worry. She pushes you towards the door, and then turns away and disappears into the light flicker row. You take a final moment, and then will yourself inside, leaving the glimmering light and the shifting crowd behind. The Bliss is perched at a console, then turns at you entering. Finally! They smile weakly. You are making me thinking you wouldn't show. I saw the Anhita. Oh yes, Bliss took away. We're talking again. She has a lot to do and she needs the backup. I don't think Anhita does very well unless she's busy, so it's for the best. The Bliss shrugs. I don't think she'll ever change, but people surprise you sometimes. They smell tentatively. Anyway, Bliss signs, this is not what you're here for. We need to focus on the reboot. I'm sure Seraphim told you, but everything is ready. The Bliss gestures to you to two coaches with the straps, freshly built connectors, and a bundle of wires at one end. I hope it will be comfortable for you both. Where's Flint? Was just getting some air. The Flint leans in the open doorway, watching you both. Their pale face look even more drained of color than usual. So this is another robot, another sleeper that we met on one of the colonies. All right. He even know me before I lost the memory, because we escaped together with him. But he's a drug addict. All right. All the robots are drug addicts. That's how they control them. And in order to remove that addiction, we need to reboot myself. Which was the plan when the game started, but that reboot interrupted. I lost a bunch of memories, and the mafia guys were like hunting me down. And there's all other processes going on inside my bodies. The Flint comes inside the shop and nods to you. Let's do this. They take a shaky breath. I'm ready. So I'm also interested in if these robots are actually could have the same mind, the same human mind that developed in different ways, you know, different personalities. This could be possibilities. The Flint and Bliss go silent, and the sounds of the crowd outside filters gently into the room, mixing with the whines of the air as cycles and the hums of the terminals. There is not much more to say. The Bliss looks at you both. Okay, they pause. Let's begin. The Bliss helps you and Flint onto your crutches. You settle there and slides your arms and legs under the straps that will keep you in place. The connector, with its thick bundles of wires, waves above your head. It is hard not to feel exposed, lying here on your back, anticipating what is to come. It is even harder when the memories of waking up to this very same ceiling with its bundles of dangling tags and scratched platings force itself into your mind. You have been here before. Last time, you woke up to fear and panic, woke up to desperate escape and shattered mind, a reboot interrupted. The thought set you trembling. But then, staring up at the same ceiling, the trembling dissipates. After all, you are back here now. That means you survived this crisis, grew from it, you took the hit, and bounced back unbeaten. All good there? The Bliss face floats in your vision. All good. Bliss smiles. How about you, Flint? You turn your head to see Flint lying beside you, stiff and still. They manage to a tight-lipped nod. Looking at the Flint staring up at the ceiling, like you were a moment ago, you feel a rush of sympathy. After all, they haven't faced this before like you have. They are stepping into the future they cannot see. You have been here before, now we are just completing the journey. Reach out to Flint. You raise your arm, reaching across the gaps between the couches, and your hand touches the Flint. They do not look at you, but they grip your fingers in they tight. The Flint fingers feel different to human fingers. The thick vinyl skin, the repair patches, the pressure of the metal skeleton beneath it. You know this is what you touch feel like too, and what recognition is like a connection being made. You close your eyes and feel something flowing between the two of you, a solidarity so embodied that it reverberates within you. I'm connecting you to the terminal. The Bliss voice already feels distant, lost in the noise. You feel the cold click of the connector, the sense of flowing data. I'll be here when you wake up. In the dark, you feel restless. You shuffle your fingers, adjust your position against the couch. It takes you a moment to notice the sounds has gone, the rumble of the crowd, the hum of the machine. These details unsettles you, and so you search for reassurance. You think of Bliss' words, I'll be here when you wake up. You focus on them, on the possibility of waking up, on being somewhere renewed. But what would that renewal look like? Your eyes blink into the lighting of the flicker row. Bliss Seraphim and renewed Flint beside you. But what then? Travel? Dark side travel? A line stretches out of a screen and a vector leading you even onwards. Why stop now? But how far does the line stretches? What does it encompass? The belt. This soft curves of rocks, bridging at the edge of the system and space beyond. There is enough here for a lifetime, maybe more, emerging in the shadows of the collapse. But where does the vector terminate? Seraphim and Olivia, Tala and Wellspring, Junie and Helion Gate. Change your mind? But where does the vector terminate? Seraphim and Olivia? For a long time, you thought Seraphim would run forever, but something changed in him. First in the Wellspring, then Olivia. That heaven almost lifeless rocks. That heaven amongst a lifeless rock. Perhaps that place might orchestrate a shift in you too. There's a future in that colony, once more fresh and fragile than anywhere else in the belt. It is built wild by wild, refugee by refugee, promises by promises. An image, one such promise made by the Seraphim to Cadence, and returned in kind. A celebration that rumbles through the colony with joy, and in that aftermath plans are made, one that will take an eager lifetime to fulfill. What more could you desire than the ceaseless project of building a future for those you love? The thought of arrives with a solidarity and power that settles your mind. This is what it means to live. Then you feel it, the insistent pulling of a thread, the unraveling of your very self. The reboot comes on slow, and ice seeping in your mind. Little piece of your wake off, a little piece of you flakes off in this flow, fading with distance. You hear the voice, the Bliss voice, so far away now. You reach for it, stretches your every sense towards its familiar worm. I'm starting the reboot. It is a whisper into the wind. Pull it away from you the moment it's spoken. See you on the other side. All of a sudden, you wish you could make it stop. The incessant entropy of time, the tumbling of rocks through the space, getting farther apart every cycle, disappearing into the vacuum ahead. The decay of cells, the degradation of God, the corrosion and rot of the trust. You wish, in this moment, to freeze it all, so you might hang on to it. Preserve the warmth, the light, the softness of the heart of things. This thought grips you, tears into your lake of fear. You feel the ice creeping in, and know that everything will be lost, if not now, then mere moments away. But then you feel it, impossibility. The seraphim's coin, warm smooth by worrying, turning in your hand. Time has been pressed into the coin by hands, by fingers. It is a near infinite record of transient touches, each one shaping in its some small way. It's a warm and worthless. It is bent and broken, and it is beautiful in all of those things. And so, you press your thumb against it, you crooked, callous thumbs against it and again, because you are the broken thing, and you have nothing left but that brokenness and the beauty that shines through it. And then, somewhere nearby, a button is pressed, and all at once, the one thing ends and something new begins. That's all? What? Complete the game on dangerous difficulty. That was dangerous. Not really. My supreme risk management skills just like make the game like a breath of air. Just like easy walk in the park. Finish rebooting your frame. So that's all. That's like all. So there was nothing like the. So basically, he rebooted himself and he's lost his personality. That's like only one conclusion I came by. All right. What if you load here? There's silicon on the dark side here, right? So the dark side is a coin. So basically, right, yeah, that's the only conclusion I can come here. He just rebooted, lost his personality. Well, it's kind of not a really good ending, I would say so, right? So there was the ending. We kind of missing with retrieving that interstellar drive. Alright, the engine that can let us leave the sector all behind, right? So there's a lot of questions like left unanswered, right? The war, alright, what happened with the war, like what our future holds after the reboot. So I would like there would be some kind of summarizing of that stuff, like what our decision make us to came to. Right, what happened with the world after all the done as well. It's usually the games like this should have, like Pathfinder have it, many other games with a story-driven element, and where the choice of matter have those kind of like flashbacks or like summary what's happened after. We don't have anything like this in this game, so I still think the game was okay, the good game in general. Well, a good game, it's a story-driven visual novel, basically. Visual novel, you're reading a lot. There's 90% of a gameplay just reading, right? There are some choices to make, some risk management to do with your dice, but it wasn't the majority of the gameplay, right? It's only 10% of the gameplay that was. There was some dangerous moment at some part I just mentioned today on the stream, that we ended up in failing myself, like failing a mission and then dying altogether if I put a wrong move. Alright, and the right move was just wait a little bit and starving instead of risking it all. So we're rolling my dice. So we done that, and we went out unaffected by that. We also there was also a moment with that bugged quest, the space rats, which is like was fixed in a previous patch, and it apparently it was not a space rats but a space cat, but we haven't like able to interact with the space cat at all. So we got a new crew member. It's the space cat, but we couldn't interact with him in any meaningful way or anything. There's a bunch of backstories where weren't like backstories of your crew members weren't like exposed to the fullest of its potential. The writing was pleasant. The writing was good through the whole game. All right, it's not a masterpiece. I mentioned this, but it was a solid writing. Better than some light novels I read in recent years. So I'm very satisfied with this. Right, the universe itself was pretty good too. You know, I did compare it a lot of time with the Soma game, how it's the concept, right? The human mind inside robotic body that you just you're feeling so alienated by it. All right, it's just the different feelings. The feeling that you kind of possessing the stuff, like it's not your own thing. So, and there are some perspectives on, you know, ethical part of it, and the lane guy, the mafioso who could try to propagate himself from a different robots. All right, became a one person in many places, possessing many bodies. That also was a question about that. The game is delivering to you, all right, which is like could happen in maybe near future on Earth here with all this development that we facing right now. In any case, I'm satisfied with the game. It was a good experience. Worth trying it, especially on the Game Pass. So the Game Pass listed it as the game that 8 hours for main story. If you're doing all the side quests, it's 12 hours. But we definitely took more than this. We played it for 6 stream for 4 hours. So basically we took it 24 hours on this. Yeah, we spent 24 hours here on this game. Again, reading the stuff on stream is way slower than reading it to yourself on the other side of monitor. So that's one factor. It's like not the game we usually play in. But I'm looking at a few more visual novels that come in this month, next month, and we're going to be talking about that because I had a good experience with this one. So I'm not against the idea to play the games like this. Not that much against it, I would say. Again, if to rate the game on a scale from 1 to 10, it's kind of hard. It's really kind of hard to do the rating of the game because it's not the games, like I said, that we usually play in. And I rather not rate it at all, right? I said that we have a positive I have a positive experience with that, and I like it. But you need to like reading books as well in order to like this. And reading books as well, it was my main form of entertainment, not gaming, but actually book reading in this past like 14 or something years. So like I just enjoy reading books more than doing anything else, watching movie or playing games. This is my, like I said, main factor of entertaining. And combining the game like and the book like this, it's a good experience. It's a good experience for me. Again, some games are some books, I would say, have like better writing style way better writing style, better story maybe. So I have very big satisfaction with the story here, but it's also feel like some things just getting unfinished, unsaid, and all of that at the very end. I still think we're getting the best outcome here possible, excluding this not having this hyperdrive, alright? But we don't know what happened after we reboot. We don't happen. That's just I don't like the ending. That's what I like the story. I like the story progression. I like the world building and world lore, but I'm a little bit dissatisfied with the ending, which is putting a big question marks on. But what happened next? What happened with all the decisions we made? Right, guys. So we're done with this game. We're done with this game. We have 2 more games that we're planning to. We're gonna be talking about right now. What we're planning